It's gonna be a wild one, but as you said, both Hikaru and Nepomniachtchi are in a must-win situation. I listened to the interviews of the players, and what I found really interesting about Nepomniachtchi and what he said. First of all, he emphasized he was quoting Emmanuel Lascar, former world champion, how difficult it is to convert winning positions. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is not easy to win a winning position. So he had two winning endgames that he blew. And what he said about the first game is that if he recalls it well, he analyzed that position, that Grunfeld line with Magnus years
Wow.
ago, but with the same opponent he had in front of him. We know that Nepomniachtchi has been working with Magnus Carlsen for years and probably still is working with him, but then they looked at that same line together and he forgot about it.
Oh wow. I did not see that. That wow. Okay, so he worked on the line with Magnus himself. Oh
Yeah, I guess
jeez.
they worked on like, I don't know how dozens, hundreds, I don't know the amount, many lines. So it's easy
Mm-hmm.
to forget, but that they briefly looked at that one too with Magnus and he forgot it. But it was like he said like 7 or so years ago, I believe.
Wow. So okay. So this is here's our scoreboard, guys. Here's our scoreboard. Um and I think okay, so the current score we obviously don't have yet. What and the ones next to their names imply that they were won in the games yesterday. Now, okay,
Wonderwig in the Enzo just
Hikaru.
resubbed for 3 months.
Let me
It's
just
been a
refresh.
great 3 months and I really hope Hikaru
Oh,
can clutch it to get
oh,
into the finals. Hopefully
Game
it's
is
Magnus
about to
versus
start.
Carlsen we need.
sorry, there was there was a long TTS, and I was like trying. Okay, there we go. There we go. Whew, okay, um, everything's fine. So let me just refresh back to our board. Here we go. Terrific. Anna, G6 in the Rui Lopez from Hikaru.
I like it. I like it because it's not what we would normally expect. And Hikaru is in a must-win situation. 4 games, so out of the 4 games, he can choose. He can choose which one he wants to win, but he has to win today's match to earn the playoff.
Yeah, this is a very unique way to play the Rui, to go for A6 and G6, and then white plays the most principled, which is C3, D4, rather than developing standard with the knight to C3. And now Hikaru just is trying to create imbalance very quickly. I think here you play bishop E6, and then you castle. You can also play knight CE7. Like, it looks weird, but I think it is possible.
I'm gonna take a look at the database because this is where we probably are entering a territory that isn't that common anymore. 16 games left for this position with Rook E1 check, and out of the 16 games, let me see. Bishop E6 in 14, knight CE7 in 1. I wonder what happened in the 16th game. They made a draw of the Rook E1 check.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are some GM games in here, right? I don't think it's that crazy. Or is
Doesn't
this the
seem
first
to
one?
be.
No?
No, I think it's not crazy if we have a trademark on it by Vishy Anand versus Shahriar Mamedjarov. Kinda
Okay.
approves of the idea. Yes.
Okay. Okay, fair. Yeah, both those guys, they definitely know how the pieces go, and what squares to put them all on. So, is Rook E1 a rare move? Like, Hikaru's thinking a long time here. I'm just curious, where was the first kind of big break?
Yes, you are right that Rook E1 is just
Uh-huh.
the second most common. Bishop G5 is more popular.
Right, so both of those moves are attacking something valuable in black's position. This is attacking the king, and Anna's saying that the other move is bishop G5, just for a direct attack on the queen, defended by the knight, so you obviously can't take the bishop. Man, I gotta tell you, memories from being a scholastic teacher. When kids would play bishop G5, unguarded, like unguarded, attacking the
Yeah.
queen, and then the person would move the queen away because they'd be like, my queen's guarded. Like, they don't realize that you could just
Yeah, queen hanging, queen moves, and you don't even consider you could capture it. I've seen that too on scholastic level. I think Wesley and Hikaru are somewhat above that level, so we're gonna see if Bishop G5 will be met by a queen move. And first of all, the bishop is not hanging, so it's not the same kind of Bishop G5.
Yeah, don't take on g5. Probably just queen d7 here. This does look very okay for black. In many ways, it's the kind of like exact position that you would want if you want to play for win. White has an isolated pawn, which means it has no neighbors. E and C are gone, and if you protect the square in front of an isolated pawn, you can then prevent it from moving forward and narrow down your pieces down, onto it, and then you would win the pawn. Actually, well, you could take now, but it's probably too dangerous, right?
Yeah. So castle kingside makes perfect sense to get the king out of the e file. And after knight b3, Wesley is heading toward the c5 square with the knight. I don't see any games for this. This is already a very, very much new territory. Knight b3 has never happened.
No, but see, like, look, here's the thing, is that Hikaru goes into something that is non-standard for the Rui, and Wesley So says, I got stuff here too, my guy. Like, these guys have everything covered. It is so difficult if someone works 8 to 12 hours a day on their chess. I don't know if that's how much Wesley works, I would imagine.
Easily. I think easily he works that amount.
Yeah, because, like, now, now Hikaru, like, first move or a couple moves now out of preparation, he plays bishop g4. He's trying to avoid the fork. So knight c5 is no longer hitting his bishop on e6, so then he will move his queen up. Still completely fine for Hikaru, but Wesley is clearly still prepared here.
Can I just say I love to see that this is the first game. We are just starting the show and it's already a hype train on Hikaru's channel. Thank you guys for showing up and saying hello with a train to Hikaru. This is a very important date. We need to emphasize again that he is in a must-win situation. He lost yesterday. So he lost yesterday's set. Today is the second and final set. He needs to make a comeback in order to continue the tournament. If not, knockout system, you are eliminated if he doesn't make a comeback today. So send all your energy Hikaru's way because he needs it today again more than ever.
Absolutely. He has to not just beat Wesley in the Rapid, he then has to beat him in the Blitz and potentially in Armageddon.
Yep.
Yeah, well, this is Wesley has had a pretty good year as far as I remember, when he's like they played in the wow, Hikaru goes back.
Interesting move.
Wait,
the evaluation bar doesn't like it. Let's see why.
So, wait, I'm so perplexed. He played bishop g4 to induce h3. Did he want to take? And then, like, wait, but now he's just allowing Wesley to go knight c5?
This doesn't make sense if he really wanted to step out of this. Now he is allowing it. Is he saying that after the pawn is on h3, he doesn't mind if you take on e6 because f takes e6 opens up the f5 for the rook and he wants to play knight f4? Is he taking a chance here, taking a bit of a risk in order to create attack on the king side?
But then what's the difference in the position with the pawn on h2 versus h3? I guess it's the dark squares. So by making Wesley play a move, okay. Well, I mean, if Hikaru wants to go completely insane, he can play rook takes f3, which is a pretty thematic sacrifice, which stops guarding the center, and then you play knight takes d4. So
yeah,
maybe, maybe this will happen. And thank you to Atwupak.
Thank you so much for the 5
subs.
gifted subs. I'm a little bit concerned because obviously the evaluation bar says Wesley has already a +1 advantage, which is quite a substantial advantage on Grandmaster level, but the position is not clear-cut. And as long as Hikaru can have a position that is a messy, unclear position with tactical elements in it, especially if the f5 opens up, I think this is a good practical decision because we saw how Hikaru was ready to take risk in the previous stages of the tour as well, and Wesley is the opposite. He probably is playing against Wesley's style again because he wants the game to be more chaotic, even if it's with a risk. He does know, I believe, that this is not the best position for him.
Yeah, but then probably he will wait. Like he'll bring his second rook. There you go. But the problem is also Wesley can. It's insane. Wesley hasn't lost the second off of the starting time. It's 15-minute and 10-second bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have like all these different moves. A4, rook h4. Rook e4 is such a funny move, by the way.
It is. Let's hope this will work out. We have our concerns, but it's because we see the evaluation bar. I wonder what's next after this trade has happened. And yes, clearly the e6 pawn is an isolated, weak pawn that white will be targeting. The d4 pawn is also isolated, but somewhat easier to hold on to the d4 pawn than the e6 pawn for now, especially if white manages to shift all the heavy pieces to the e file. I would be a little concerned about seeing the queen and the second rook appearing on e1. Queen e2, rook e1.
Queen e2, rook e1 doesn't look very pleasant at all. Biggest decision for Wesley is where does he want to play, you know? He bought a TV, he's got 3 rooms to put it in. He can go on this side, and yeah, so he's going for h4, which is very direct. I mean, he wants to play h4 and he wants to play h5. So, but now if Hikaru plays h6, what's the status, huh? Like, what are we doing if we play h6 here? I feel like since it's not in the top 2 of the computer's suggestions that if I play this move, it's going to lose the game basically immediately. So let's try it out.
Okay, go for it. H4,
oh no, actually,
h6.
Actually, this doesn't really lose because the bishop just goes back. And the argument is that you've kicked out the bishop, but you've weakened your g6 pawn too much. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, fair. Okay. Okay. Okay, sounds good.
Are we gonna see that? And also h4, how scary this pawn push is. AlphaZero made it even more popular. Not that it didn't exist before the AlphaZero moves, but especially in the AlphaZero games, h4 or h5 with the black pieces was a trademark of AlphaZero. h4, the pawn is not going to h5 after the knight jumped back to f6. So that knight is attacking the rook and is guarding the h5 square.
That's exactly
but Wesley
right.
could take it if he doesn't want to move the rook.
He can take it, and he does take it. And now he probably will play h5. The issue here is that he's got the light-squared bishop on 2 very strong diagonals. And that bishop is very, very powerful. So the rule, we've probably said this over the past week at this point, but opposite colored bishops favor the attacking side, and if Wesley plays something like h5 or bishop b3, rook g4, Hikaru's bishop is good, but it can't counteract the light-squared attacker. He would need to play something like knight b4, but Anna, I don't think Wesley's gonna trade his bishop away, unfortunately.
I'm afraid about that either, because that's such a precious bishop b3 to target the e6 pawn, or after h5 opening up the v1 h7 diagonal. This is worse for Hikaru, but it's not that bad. And maybe this trade also is helping Hikaru to get to a more solid position, although that's not what he wants. So it's interesting how the evaluation bar and the engine evaluation is improving for Hikaru, but at the same time the position is simplifying, and probably he didn't really want a simplified position. At the same time, reminder, he doesn't need to win in this one game. He has 4 games, 4 rapid games, and 2 more games will be with the white pieces.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to at least not lose. For starters, and it's interesting that he's not going Berlin. Like, he didn't try to win with white and just stabilize this first game. He's trying to, like, straight up win the game. I mean, you don't play this g6 system with the intention of drawing the game. You can just do that to play Berlin. So
no, he's going sharp. He's taking a chance. He's going for risky choices on purpose. This must be his strategy that he wants to try to win with both colors. But it is a risky business. But I think at this stage, Wesley will probably just go for the natural development, bring the rook over to e1, so queen e2 or queen d2, then bring the rook over to e1, put pressure on the e6 pawn. But it's not too bad. I think Hikaru can hold it. It's more about can he somehow still undermine Wesley's position and go for the initiative.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what do you play here? First of all, we have very annoying pressure on d4. We have 3 pieces. What if Wesley's very direct here and plays the move h5?
Excellent question, because he already pushed h4. It would make sense that he continues. Are we brave enough to take that pawn, or that could be straight out bad? With that c2 bishop looking at the h7 square, I don't think we will survive that position. Probably just ignore that. Ignore the pawn. It looks scary, but we may have to ignore it.
But then if h5, what will we play? Like, my first idea was knight b4 to go for the bishop, but I think that just loses. I think that just straight up loses, because white will just take and play rook g4 and have 2 things attacking the g6 pawn. I mean, h5 is the most direct, and Wesley has played it. So this is no longer a hypothetical, it's actually a very serious question. What will Hikaru do? He can call the bluff. He can take.
Do you think he will? Do you think he will take it? Will he just ignore the h5 pawn? Will he push g5? G5 though, I see things suggested in both chats. If you want to move the g pawn, I think it's better to at least capture a pawn with it, because g5 looks terrifying.
He just takes, and Wesley's gone for queen d3. I saw rook d8 being written here and there. That is the engine suggestion, going for d4. But it's kind of difficult practically to just let this happen and then just take. And I think Hikaru is, you know, very happy to just take the pawn and then try to defend later. Ask questions later. Rook f7, rook g7, for example. But man, wow, what's going on with Wesley, man? Quit attacking our warlord. Just like, no, this is yeah, it makes sense.
He's going for it. Yeah, he pushed h5, giving up a pawn, now threatening checkmate in a few moves if we mess it up.
Yeah, I mean, Anna, for example, you know, chat, if you're confused, knight b4 looks like a nice move because you attack queen and bishop. But something in the chess position that's worth more than the queen is the king. And rook g4 check comes, you can take it, but then queen and bishop, you open up 2 doors like this. So knight b4 loses the game if you play it. And so Hikaru plays rook f7, threatening knight b4, so Wesley plays a3. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Okay, so our knight b4 move has been prevented. Is there another way we could consolidate? Shall we play in a way that this rook from f7 moves over to g7 to use the g file, or king h8, rook g8? Can we use that g file now that we have it open?
Yeah, the first thing I'm thinking about is king h8, rook g8, definitely. Because you're going to lose the h5 pawn.
Yeah.
For sure, but maybe you put it on h4, from where if the knight takes it, that knight stops guarding the center pawn. Like, if black can get this knight to d4, Anna, and play c5, just locking it in, black is very happy. So...
I agree with you. I agree with you that would be ideal, and also... as you said, the pawn will probably be gone on h5 or h4. We will not be able to keep that extra pawn on the board. But in the meantime, it's going to take time for Wesley to go and capture it. So we could go king h8, rook g8, and use the g and f5s for our heavy pieces. And then, if the position becomes chaotic, that's where Wesley could go wrong too, because he's really good in traditional, positional, slow type of maneuvering positions. When it becomes more chaotic, obviously at their strength, they're good at every single thing. But if we compare Hikaru's skills and Wesley's skills, Hikaru is better in chaotic, messy, sharp positions where calculation has to be super duper on point.
Yeah, Wesley somehow is just so hard to kind of get into that territory.
Yeah, like that's the problem, that we don't really get to see those type of positions in Wesley's games.
Yeah, I mean, there was one game yesterday where Hikaru could have like attacked a little bit early in the opening. He played knight h5, and then Wesley just found g6, like one simple thing. And then since then, I mean, it was kind of Hikaru trying to create chaos, and Wesley just saying, nope, no chaos for you, Hikaru. He has played king h8. He has played king h8.
Yeah, and that answers one of the questions I saw in the chat. Why not e5? Had Hikaru pushed e5 with the king on g8, that opens up the a2 g8 diagonal, and bishop b3 would have been a very unpleasant surprise. But now with the king on h8, even e5 becomes an option if we find the right moment to push.
Yes. Yes. The problem is this light squared diagonal. Someone also said, why king h8? Why would you go to the corner and not to f8 to join your pieces? Just think about it like all the pieces will trip over one another. If they're ever trying to maneuver, the king is going to be in the way, and you can't have the king in the way because the king is ultimately worth the most. And since it can't even be captured, you can't just sack the king for like a rook. You will lose. You put the king over there, and as long as the king is like a little bit well protected, you know, you just kind of cover the pawn with the rook or something. The king will be more than okay. Yeah, the king's kind of the wimp of the chessboard.
I wonder how Wesley will continue after king h8, because this isn't an easy position to play with either color. It's messy enough.
Well, he's got to bring a second rook, and I think he has to figure out whether or not he wants to lose the d4 pawn. That's really it. So,
speaking of losing pawns, it does look like on our smaller board, Magnus Carlsen, the world champion with the black pieces, is a pawn down, but Nepomniachtchi's pawn structure in front of the king is damaged, and black should have enough compensation, especially if he takes the pawn on b2, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, equal material and doubled pawns. Yes, he will not keep his pawn advantage.
very weird one. So Magnus played a line in the Ruy Lopez. Well, no, actually, he played something pretty standard. Nepo played like c3, knight d2. You guys look at the bottom left. This is not very standard. Very maneuvering position. I think Nepo just wants as many pieces on the board as possible and some imbalance. So, pawn. Well, bishop takes b2 did just happen, so it's no longer pawn up. But if Nepo can get e5, disconnecting the bishop from the defense of the king, he will be happy. I just don't know if that's actually going to happen. Okay. Wesley, meanwhile, queen e3. Oh, that's an annoying move. He wants queen h6.
Yeah, it's unpleasant for that exact maneuver that you have mentioned. Although, yeah, I was gonna say it's not too bad, but I don't like the queen near our king. That would be unpleasant. So once the queen appears on h6, oh wait a second, but he has to carry it out with the right move order, because I started making moves on my board and I played rook g8, queen h6, but then the d4 pawn can be taken.
Yes.
So he cannot just go and fish. The h5 pawn cannot be captured that quickly. He has to probably play first rook d1, or how will he prepare that idea?
Yeah, well, I think he's also just preventing Hikaru's rook on e8 from moving because it's got to stay guarding e6. Apparently, he also has a threat of d5 himself, which if you take with the pawn, you would look like me when I stream Blitz and lose the rook on e8. But if you take with the queen, bishop comes to b3 and then hits the queen and the pawn and then the rook behind it. Yeah, there's a lot of threats here. Hikaru apparently has to play queen f8, which I mean, it's actually not an insane move, not a completely insane move. But then after d5, like, what do you do? I mean, knight d8. Yeah, this is what the computer wants. Queen f8, d5, knight d8. That's not... And then de6, rook e7. Yeah. Okay.
Easy.
Shush.
That is so easy. All these moves, Levy, you're saying, everyone can see it. It's basic chess, right? Essential moves.
Yes, just back up. Just back all your pieces up and, No. No. And wow, Hikaru does go queen f8. Wait, that's crazy. d5, knight d8. d5 he has no choice. He has to play knight d8 and then rook e7. Oh my god, is Hikaru actually gonna go for this?
Hikaru is the engine. Now we know. Levin was just like, oh yeah, these moves and such. But if Hikaru plays it, it's the Hikaru engine we are looking at, or he probably has a deeper understanding than our engine.
No, that's...
At what depth Hikaru is running? The Hikaru bot. Is it depth 40 now?
I don't know. I played my bot yesterday, and I'm not gonna spoil how it went, but I did learn a very valuable life lesson, so... I'll spoil that if you'd like. It was that I just suck. Bot version or human version, I'm just trash. So
you mean both?
Both, yeah. I can't win even when they program me into an AI. So
seriously.
Yeah, it was all bad. All of it was bad.
Does your bot trash talk?
No, well, it says things, but my bot said something like, I'm so excited, like, I'm excited to give you a game, and I was like, I would never say that. You know, like, Anna, your bot's, if it's gonna be sweet, it'll... Wow, Hikaru's going for knight d8, by the way. He's going full cocoon! Full cocoon with rook e7!
For it, yes! Yes.
Oh my god, he's going full... like this. And when he evolves, maybe he'll be a beautiful butterfly. Rook e7 or rook g7? What does he get? Wow!
He's going for it.
Wow.
So if bishop b3 to guard the pawn.
Yeah, actually, good question. What if that... Oh, well, b2's hanging. Also, let's not forget, b2 on the other side of the board is under attack.
Okay, so you will just take the pawn and say, this is fine.
Take and pray. Yeah, it's gonna be like the this is fine meme. The crazy thing is, and someone did write this, listen, you find all the best moves, you're still suffering. I mean, he found the best defensive plan, but... Okay, now he has to take b2. Man, this is... This looks very, very, very bad. I mean, if he could teleport his pawn to c4, he would be winning, but that's an illegal move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another move that the engine suggests for Hikaru is queen g7 to double down on that attack on the b2 pawn. But the thing is, with the e6 pawn alive on the board, that's a pass pawn for white. So I was hoping we're gonna get rid of that pawn. At the moment, it's not happening.
Actually, if this was torpedo chess, which was a new variant that they messed around with, your pawns can go two squares, whichever rank they're on. So here black would play c6, and on the next move black would play c4. It's kind of interesting how that would change the game, actually. But for now, let's stick to normal rules of the game. And c5, guys, there. Oh, and that's what Hikaru's going for. He's going for c5. But I apparently knight g5 is just winning here.
Oh no, please, Wesley, please don't do that. I was just gonna say Hikaru bot has taken on b2, but apparently Hikaru bot after rook d1 had to capture the a3 pawn as well. It's full on engine mode that you just go and grab the free pawns while the house is on fire.
Wow.
He played knight b7 instead, and you are saying, Levy, that if Wesley finds knight g5, we are in trouble?
Yeah, I think what Hikaru intended was to go to d6, so something like knight g5, knight d6, but what if Wesley sacrifices the rook there, and then plays knight f7?
Oh no.
I guess Hikaru kind of wants like this endgame. This is kind of what he's trying to get. Where maybe you hold just by virtue of cocoon. Like d5 and take this pawn and just pray. God, that would be so weird.
I'm hoping Wesley will go for a different idea. a4, expand on the queen side. Maybe? Anything but knight g5. Any move but knight g5. Can we... No.
Yeah, unfortunately, Wesley is world-class. You know, he's not rounds 1 or 2 of like a title Tuesday. And knight g5 is just very direct. And I mean, obviously, when Hikaru plays knight b7, he is seeing knight g5. So now he's looking at knight d6. But yeah, rook d6 is a very serious problem. No, Wesley so is very, very strong. I mean,
knight d6, and as you said, Wesley can take it and then play knight f7.
He might not even have to do that, by the way. Like, maybe he sacrifices and he has something even better. I just played knight f7 because it's so natural. You just played knight g5. So of course you would play knight f7. So pawn getting here would be ideal, but this game is like a perfect example of how the opposite colored bishop supports the attacker. I mean, that pawn on e6 is... No. And by the way, guys, that just goes to show you, like, Hikaru found the right ideas to defend, but now, like Anna said, here the engine just wants to take the pawn and... Like, come on.
It's so difficult to find those kind of moves. That's the engine line, to go and capture 3 pawns while your king on h8 is really vulnerable. You're leaving that long diagonal. It was a mission impossible to play the most accurate moves in this position.
So he plays knight d6, and Wesley just chops it. I mean, it gets there, and he just takes, and now he can either play knight f7 or... Wow, apparently the even more winning move is rook f4. Rook f4 is apparently even more winning. To try to go... Is it rook f7? Is that what you're trying to do? It's just to overprotect f7. That's it. That's the strategy. Before you jump in. Well...
It's sad to see the first game going this way, but a reminder that the format is 4 games. Wait, Wesley did not play the most precise move?
He did not. I mean, well, he played the human-looking move, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you take on d6, you go knight f7. So Hikaru has a chance now to employ cocoon strategy, which is going to be...
Again?
just literally... I mean, I don't... He has to take. If he moves his king out of h8, like, he loses. Right? I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, he must. Oh, but he might have king g8. No, he takes.
He takes. We are still alive. We are alive and we are breathing.
Yeah, but now the bigger problem is that this pawn on f7, like, what are you going to do? There is no way to intercept the bishop defending the pawn. Just no way.
That's true, but it's opposite colored bishops. There's some hope. It's not completely lost.
Yeah, like, again, you know, computer wants d5. Why does it want d5? Because it wants to sacrifice the pawn so the queen has vision, and then the bishop can come around this way. So, despite Hikaru being up a pawn here, of course he's being seriously offset by the activity of white's pieces. Like, if Hikaru's h-pawn is back on g6, his h5 pawn back on g6, he's completely okay. His king's actually not in any danger. But... yeah, this is I don't know. Now, Anna, if Hikaru wins the a3 pawn, how does Wesley win? If Hikaru plays queen g7, bishop to f8, it's gonna come down to Wesley's 2 pawns, right? That's what's gonna happen.
Hikaru plays king g7 to get out of the corner and just try to hold everything together on the dark squares. I do think he will move his queen now, because you need to activate your queen c8 to threaten with queen c1 check.
Yes, he's going for this. Now, the good thing is that everything is still protected. The good thing is also that white's bishop does not help with promotion. It just defends. It just defends. Hikaru can try to create some counterplay. Now, he can't play queen c3 here because that would lose to queen g4 and queen g8. And the pawn promotes. What does he do here? What does he do? Why did Wesley not play queen e8 where, guys? Here?
The thing is, he can play it, but he's not threatening anything if we just defend the queen. You can't undermine that f8 blockade.
Yeah, when you look at queen e8, if you see take, oh, it's good, I'm gonna play it, you're missing an important detail of calculation, which is what if they don't play this move? What else can they play? And then you can just defend this. So in chess, you have to look for what's wrong with your move first. You can prove yourself right 5 times, but if you prove yourself wrong once, you don't play the move. But unfortunately, yeah, Wesley, he's not rushing anything.
He's not rushing. He has more time on the clock. This position, this endgame is really unpleasant because of the f7 pass pawn that we can never ever win, and we always have to keep an eye on the promotion square. So Hikaru's pieces, the main issue is that Hikaru's pieces are tied down to the defense of that f8 promotion square. He has to be guarding that square forever and ever and cannot play for anything that would be giving active counter chances. If the a3 pawn was gone, as Levi pointed out, that would be awesome because then we can also start pushing on the queen side. But the d pawn, the passed pawn that Hikaru has, we cannot make it to d5 because both the bishop and the queen are guarding the square, and we can only support it with our queen. The dark square bishop, Hikaru's bishop, can never help the pawn, the d pawn, to make it to d5.
Jan apparently is up a piece versus Magnus. His king is on f4. What the hell?
Seriously, when I looked at the game, it was just somewhat better for Magnus. How did he...
Why is Jan's king on f4?
How did he lose a piece?
I think Magnus sacked a piece a move ago. Wait, Magnus was completely winning. And then blundered this king f3. He blundered king f3, forking his knight. The queen hits the rook, the king hits the knight?
What on earth? But how do you blunder it if you give that check with the knight? Like, that's one of the options. He must have blundered the follow-up. I don't think he blundered king f3, but he must have missed something that would be his follow-up. Or he didn't think that the white king can actually venture to capture a knight on f4. It's too dangerous.
Now, Hikaru... So the computer in Hikaru's game is saying he's completely lost. He's completely lost except for this d5 idea. It's completely hung up on giving the pawn away to gain control of this diagonal. The computer understands that you're not going to win the pawn by going around this way anymore. It's too slow. So you need to go d5, bishop e7, and win this pawn. And that's how it's saying you're going to try to hold this endgame.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh my, I mean, come on, that's like... Like, I would never play d5 here. You know, you look at, like, queen e7. I mean, you look at... But the problem is a6 is hanging. And if you play queen a5, you probably just lose, right? To some queen c8, so...
I think Hikaru could put that picture together that you need the d6 square for your pieces because the a6 pawn is more important than this d6 pawn that you cannot ever push. I mean, you can push it, but it's gonna be taken. You cannot push it successfully all the way to d1. So he could come to the conclusion that getting rid of it is better, but no. Bishop e7 after queen takes a6. What is his idea? Queen d7?
Yeah, I guess he's giving back the pawn and just trying to defend the b5 pawn. People were asking why didn't Hikaru play queen c1 check and take on a3? Because here, it's not about the opponent needing to protect the promotion square. It's about you can just promote, and now you lose. So the threat of the pawn just existing at all, you always need to see what if you promote. What if you promote? Also, Anna, Nepo is +10. Magnus Carlsen is going to lose this game. well, let's not get too hasty.
I was gonna say he has escaped from worse positions than this, I feel like.
Yes.
Against Anish, his position was much worse. Yesterday against Nepomniachtchi, 2 endgames that would have been even simpler because now there are quite a few pieces left on the board.
Yeah, Magnus, what an insane game. I mean, that was peak Nepo. I mean, king on f3, forking a knight on f4, and beautiful game. That was great. That was exactly what Nepo needed.
Yeah.
He needed Magnus to do something wild.
I just wish this would be the type of position on Hikaru's board too, because that's where Wesley could go wrong too.
Yeah, the problem is that there's just no play here. Just at all. This is going to be a very, very slow draining of life. You just play like king g2. Whoa. God, that move is a bit of a flex, huh? Queen to h8. Oh my god.
Oh, Nepomniachtchi's move is a flex too. It's mate in 9. Jan Nepomniachtchi is checkmating the world champion with that knight given up.
That is something. That is something. Magnus Carlsen is about to get checkmated. Is he going to play into the mate to be a good sport?
I think so. Well, now his final move would be queen e7, so probably he will spare that. He resigned one move before the official checkmate, but it's game over with the king on e5.
On the bright side, Magnus did win King of the Hill.
Yes.
Yes, which is a variant of chess where if you get your king to the middle 4 squares, he actually did defeat Jan by getting his king to the center of the board.
Yeah.
So he can, he can take pride in that. I mean, when do you get a king on e5? So, and by the way, Nepo had a king on f4 that game. What?
They both wanted to win king of the hill.
Oh, look at that. Nepo woke up today and said, ain't gonna be no endgame. Like in, is that the Creed quote? Ain't gonna be no rematch? Well, ain't gonna be no endgame. I'm not letting my man trade the queens and the bishops and get it into a rook and 4 versus rook and 2 again. Ain't gonna be no endgame. However, Anna, I'm very curious to see how Magnus fights back. Let's not forget, it's just the best of 2. So you lose the rapid, there's still blitz.
Yeah, and there are 3 more games to go in that match too. Every match consists of 4 rapid games. So there's plenty of chances for the world champion to bounce back. He is basically the completely always on demand comeback guy. He did that so many times against Hikaru. Remember the Magnus tour, the finals, Hikaru versus Magnus, every single day, back and forth. Hikaru taking the lead, Magnus fighting back. Hikaru taking the lead, Magnus bouncing back. It happened constantly. I'm pretty sure that Magnus is hungry and will want blood in the next game. He will want to bounce back instantly.
They did some videos of the players beforehand. They actually like took a look at his like all of the players, like houses, for example. They asked them fun questions. So one of the fun questions that they asked them is would you rather have bad internet or a bad relationship? That one was really close. Actually, a lot of them preferred internet and bad relationship.
That's what Magnus said too.
Yeah.
He prefers a bad relationship over bad internet.
Yeah, he would. I feel like that would be that would be that was one of them. They had a few. They were like, how do you react to a loss? Most of them were like a mix of sad and angry. Magnus and Duda both openly said that like they used to break things and then they would spend time putting it back together. So that's the thing.
Fun game. You break something and then you play the let's glue it together kind of game.
Yeah. So I've never if you're breaking desks, if you're breaking walls, deep breath. It's just chess. Okay, it's just chess. Yeah. I mean, it can't make you that upset.
I did take part of, was at a chess Olympiad where I can't name the grandmaster, but he broke his wrist because after the game he punched a marble column. Not the best idea. At other tournaments, the wall of the hotel room of one of the teams was completely like, there was literally a hole punched into the wall. TVs, hotel TVs, it's an expensive thing. It's really expensive to lose a game if you cannot control your temper.
I just have to say, like, if you're gonna punch anything, why wouldn't you punch something that will break? Like, I would, if there was a sheetrock wall. No, yeah, like you punch it and it breaks. Like, it feels good. You're like, oh, why would you punch a marble statue? You're gonna lose that 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and that grandmaster lost it. Yeah,
he lost the battle. Lost
the battle.
There you go, TKO by the marble statue. Throw a glass or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, punch a pillow. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, guys, Wesley is he's converting this thing. There's not much here. Again, it's really tough to exactly pinpoint how Wesley will win because he can't promote this pawn, but his A pawn has survived. He now has a passed pawn over here. Notice how Hikaru can't even check Wesley. He can't play queen g5. He has no move which would check Wesley, so yeah.
I'm just trying to see what could be a miraculous escape, but White has too many passed pawns. Way too many.
No, I wouldn't. I saw some message. Wesley's playing cruel. I mean, Wesley's converting the position. You have to play the endgame on all sides of the board. That's a nice trick. That's a nice trick.
Yeah. If it's captured, yes, let's show it, Levy. That's not bad. If it's taken, finally we could get rid of that f7 pawn. Finally.
Actually, this is very holdable, but Wesley's not going to take the bishop. But Hikaru has snatched the pawn, and now Wesley's mobility is slightly decreased. I mean, he has doubled f pawns. His a pawn is really his biggest asset now. Okay. What's this?
A5 now. Very logical to start pushing that pass pawn to. If queen g5 check, I guess the king will simply go to f1 and we don't have more checks.
A5 is just the problem. I mean, there's nothing that you can do. There's nothing you can do. Maybe you go for king f8 and try to go for queen g7 and like some check on the long diagonal. But nothing that can be done here, I don't think. Is queen f5? What's the idea if Wesley just plays a6? Queen, is it queen g6, some perpetual net? Oh, that would be funny. If the king gets caught in a net where you can't escape out of?
Mm-hmm.
So that's, maybe Wesley will have to trade.
Mistake! He missed it! He missed it! It's a perpetual! He missed it! He missed it! He blew it! Wesley has ruined it! Completely ruined it! Yes!
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Wesley missed that. Here there's queen d1 and you can't block because the bishop is hanging. Oh,
it's a draw.
My
what a miraculous escape.
gosh.
This is exactly what we needed. I don't know how you guys did it. I don't know what you did there in the chat with the Kobe pasta, with the energy, with the vibing. You did it. Hikaru has now a draw in his hands and he will hold it. It's official. It's a draw.
Wow.
Goodness.
Wow, I am stunned. Everything can go away in one move in these things. And there you go. There you go. Queen e4, and he just misses that after king f1, queen d1. Oh boy, Anna, you know, the good thing is we've got chat ultra hype right now. Now, I don't know Wesley that well. Is he prone to a tilt after something like this? Is Wesley gonna punch his marble statue? What's gonna happen?
Unfortunately, Wesley's more of a Zen guy from what I know. And I think he'll be upset that he blew it. He had a winning position and it's a draw, but it's not like losing the full point. I think he will be pretty composed. But this will give a huge boost to Hikaru because to escape from a completely lost position feels like a win. It feels just as good as a win because it's a point you didn't expect. It's a point you thought you didn't have. So chat, first of all, I need you to pat yourself on the back because well done. Good job. Whatever you did, you did it. Keep it up and double it down because we need a win in the next game. So after this comeback, now we need the win. Now we need the win.
That is amazing. I mean, now, Anna, every person that hate watches is saying Wesley's bad. That's the beauty. You can never choose who to support from a hate watching perspective because you're like, oh yeah, Wesley. Oh, Wesley's so bad. I would have won that. Now, let me just show you guys. We're going to learn how to actually win from this position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love how earlier it was how Hikaru is bad because he's in lost position. Now Wesley is bad.
Everyone's bad. Everyone's bad. I mean, you gotta take turns, you know, disliking everybody. That's the best way.
But we know that most of you don't think that way, and thank you so much for being so supportive and kind because that's what's worth sharing. That's exactly what's worth sharing.
So the win here is after check, king f1, queen b1, king e2.
Mm-hmm.
Queen, hold on a second. Where's this win? Where is this win? King e1, queen c1, queen d1, queen c3, king e2, queen e5, king f1, no more checks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Wesley had to see. And now the pawn is going. And if you play queen f5 kind of trying to get this again, then we just go through the same process. So, chat, we know that you saw that.
You all saw it. You all saw it, but Wesley saw it not. I was just watching a clip, Wesley's reaction and then Hikaru's reaction, the two sides of the coin. What happened in that moment? I don't know if we can show it, but it's being spammed in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Please send me.
I'm sending.
Oh, you sent it to me.
On this. Yes. I just didn't know if we have time to show it or are we scheduled to go on a break and then come back. Whatever you tell me. You're the producer.
Let's take a look. shall we? Yeah, like, give me a sec. I will
Thank you guys for the clip.
get it here for us. Now, Anna sent it to me. Let's watch. But I'm gonna have to mute this first, so I don't want to spoil the surprise. Listen, studio mode expert over here. And now, I have to get this on the big screen. Okay, beautiful. There we go. Let's check out.
And look at this. This is the reaction when Wesley so realizes he has made a huge blunder in a winning position. And let's see what Hikaru Nakamura looks like. Oh, that's not nice. Come on. It looks like that's what he's saying. Oh, yeah, just laughing, he realizes.
Not nice, Hikaru. Yeah, not nice. Oh, yeah, that, well, it hurts. I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, Hikaru would say it himself, Anna. It's not a laugh at it's not a laugh at the player. That's a laugh of relief more than anything else.
Yeah, I think it's very important to understand he wasn't laughing at Wesley.
Yeah, you don't you laugh because you were, you know, you escaped death basically.
Yeah.
I mean, you cheated death. Literally like 2 moves and it would have been all over. So
yeah. The players, first of all, don't see each other. They are on a video call, but they're using a different system for the calls this time, and they don't even have the camera up. So they were asked about this already. Hikaru also normally doesn't see his opponents. So it's most certainly not about Wesley. So, but that feeling of relief that you have survived from a completely lost position. You return from the dead.
Yeah, I was cracking up. I watched Hikaru's interview after his games yesterday. And he was asked a very funny question at some moment. It was like, does the format trigger you? And I was like,
oh, the trigger. Yeah,
that was just a misspeak. I mean, I don't think that they meant to ask like the word trigger, because obviously when we think trigger, we think you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Hikaru was like, well, I'm certainly not triggered. You know, he had to scramble to find the right way to describe his emotion there. They did ask him how he spends the break. They did ask him how he spends the break. He was like, there's not a lot of time, you know, because you go to the restroom, you get a little coffee, you get a snack. By then you have 4 or 5 minutes to go. So games are coming very quickly. Chat, for those of you who don't know, classical chess, when you play it, in America, it's 2 games a day. Everywhere else in the world, it's like 1 at, you know, sometimes 2, but mostly 1. So think about that. You go to play a game for 4 or 5 hours, 1 game, and then you wait 18 hours until your next game. Like, that's so weird, right? I mean, in the States, you wait 1 or 2 hours. Here, it's game, and 5 in a day is, in the preliminaries, is intense stuff.
Absolutely. The format has been really demanding, but Hikaru did say that he likes that it's that intense so that they don't have to wait too long in between games. And it's also very entertaining to watch. There are lots of ups and downs, moments where you don't know if your favorite player will make it. Remember that we started with 3 days of the preliminaries. The preliminary stage was 3 days. 16 players started this tournament. After 3 days, only half of them qualified to the quarterfinals. And now in the knockout stage, every 2 days, another half of the field will have to say goodbye. We are down to the semifinals. The top 4 players are here. So out of the 16, these are the top 4 players. Hikaru Nakamura, Jan Nepomniachtchi, Wesley So, and Magnus Carlsen, obviously Magnus Carlsen. But even Magnus sometimes makes mistakes, and he has just lost against Nepomniachtchi, so he has to make a comeback too.
Yeah, that first game where Nepo won was some wild stuff. Essentially, the critical moment was right here, where Magnus just never brought back his bishop. But Magnus was winning, Anna.
That's the strange thing. He had a really pleasant position, and then he went for this mysterious piece sacrifice. Did he not expect king f3? Did he not expect that king takes f4 is possible? What is it that he missed? Apparently,
yeah,
I think he could still play bishop b4 here. I think that's what the engine was saying after knight takes f4, king f3, that he still had a way out of it.
Oh, wow. He has bishop to b4. 3 pieces are hanging. And why can't I just move my rook over? Oh, I can't.
Great
to E2.
question. That's a question to Sassy that we will need to address, the Norwegian
Rooks.
supercomputer.
Oh! Queen b8! Defending everybody!
Ooh.
Oh, queens are OP. I mean, what do you gotta say? Queen to b8.
Yeah, absolute OP. And I think the second game of the world champion has just started.
Oh,
and he
okay.
goes for the Alapin against the Sicilian. Not the most common, but I think a good choice for a situation like this.
Well, Magnus Carlsen is friendly with the Norwegian juniors. So the guys that are like, 18 and 19 are like 2,600. And one of them is, I believe his name is Johan Sebastian Christiansen. And he just made a course on this opening.
Do you think Magnus studied from the course of Christensen? Or that he worked together with Magnus?
I feel like he definitely got a little bit of inspiration. I mean, yesterday he played Hammer. No, 2 days ago he played Hammer's opening. So, yeah, Magnus is, he. Now, where's the theory here, Anna? What is your knowledge of the theory
take
here?
A look. I'm gonna take a look at the database because obviously for me, my theory would run out after that trade on d6 and castle, and that's where I would claim, okay, game on. But I don't know theory too much. I've never played the Alapin, but I studied it for just a few surprise games, but it was never my main opening with either color. But as you mentioned, Johan Sebastian Christiansen is the Norwegian grandmaster that made a course about this. He also has this exact position from a game that he played this year. Where did he play that game? Was that... I was like, this must have been online already because it's this year, March the 21st. That was already lockdown times. So he played that game online in a blitz. I don't even know what tournament that would be, but they're still blitzing out the moves basically, and the current position that we see on the board has occurred in 16 games. This is still a theoretical line.
Very strange position for the untrained eye, but a good system. This is a... Now, I'm not a huge fan of the Alapin. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with suggesting this opening for newer players.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, you get a Sicilian player out of theory, and you take the center with 2 pawns. But on the other hand, there's a lot of positions you can end up with an isolated pawn, with just 1 pawn, and it's really difficult for newer players to kind of navigate that stuff.
I fully agree. You can get some really nice wins because it could be an attacking position where you win in 20 moves, but it could also be a disastrous endgame where your pawn will be vulnerable and captured. This is a theoretical line still, with the idea of pushing the A pawn all the way to A6 to weaken the diagonal. You don't really want to allow the opening of the A5, so B6 is the right move. But now, wait a second. Wait a second. They were in the theoretical line for a while, but E6, knight takes C6, queen takes C6. What's going on? Oh, okay. No, my database just wasn't detecting the game, but what?
Is this...
No, I thought it was still... I'm very confused. Give me a second.
That's fine, chat. I'm curious. So I see you guys are spamming this pasta. Is this old pasta, or was this just birthed? What's going on? Is this some new pasta? What is this?
The new pasta of the world champion was knight takes c6. I was confused if it could turn into a later position, some different move order, but no. E6, knight takes c6. That seems to be a novelty by the world champion.
Wow, that is good pasta. That is actually good pasta. Just birthed? Alright.
I missed it. Which one
Anna,
is the latest? Which one is the latest?
This is the latest. Chat, you guys did this. I don't know who was the origin of this, but now the world is gonna know about it. Pasta, #chess champs.
Oh, you're tweeting it.
I'm tweeting it, baby.
Let me take a look. Let me take a look.
I love putting this kind of stuff on Twitter because people who aren't watching the broadcast are like, what is he, what? Like, copy pasting a full YouTube comment, for example, and tweeting it, like, they get so confused. Out of context, anything is possible. So, anyway, I'll never understand how chess GMs that just miss easy moves. I feel like there has to be GMs in the USA that won't miss simple checkmates. Or GMs that won't mess up the endgame. IDK, man, it seems so silly. Would love opinions on this. Oh, God.
Beautiful. You already have 123 likes and 10 retweets within less than a minute.
Oh, chat, we need the next one. I mean, yeah. Guys, just stop making mistakes. Like, what is wrong with these GMs? I mean, like, ugh. Anyway, Hikaru's game will start in a few minutes. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Absolute good stuff. Keep it up, guys. Keep it up. Amazing. Amazing stuff.
Little bit of advice, chat. Little bit of advice. If you want to play against Magnus Carlsen, you should play the Alapin. He tweeted a while back when that original course came out that he actually hates the Alapin. So chat, when you guys get your game against Magnus Carlsen, you'll know what to do. You'll know what to do. By the way, b5 is already a mistake, apparently.
Is it? How do we take advantage of b5? Well, actually, it would kind of make sense, though, that the black king is still in the middle of the board. You would want to hurry up with that development, develop the bishop. Although you can't really castle kingside after pushing the pawn to h5. That's the issue. The pawn on h5 will be hanging in case you castle kingside. So was it even necessary to push h5? Because that made me very concerned at that stage. That where's the king going? You don't want to castle queenside because it's already wide open. The king would be really weak on c8, and you can't really castle kingside. So Nepomniachtchi's king is stuck in the center for now.
Yeah, there's knight a3. Oh, Hikaru and Wesley. Hikaru played my opening.
He did.
He played the Vienna while it transposed. He went bishops, and then he played this. Now, this is, to the untrained eye, this looks very silly. It looks like black doesn't actually know the basic opening principles, but this is actually one of the main lines. Knight a5. They get this bishop. I had this, not too, well, we're on Hikaru's channel, so I suppose we can speak like him. You know, this opening actually brings back very fond memories. Earlier this year, I think a guy named Gotham Chess played this in the Title Tuesday Blitz against Yevgeny Tomaszewski, and he won that game after playing bishop to b3. But Hikaru goes knight e2, which is one of the other lines. And the point is that you want to give away the bishop, bring your queen up, bishop, and long castle. But, you see what Wesley's doing?
He's
not
going
taking.
for c6. The bishop still cannot run away, so he can take a move later too. It's not that he wants his knight on a5 forever, trapped. He will take most likely next move, but this gives the opportunity to Hikaru if he wants to. He can play bishop b3 or just castle kingside and go with the flow. Knight takes, d takes, that's the structure you usually aim for.
I think castles is completely fine. Knight e2 is not going for knight f3 because you want to play knight g3. That's what you want to do. You want to put the knight over here and long term try to get it to f5 and also maintain f4. That's the biggest difference. That when you castle and play f4, the f file will open up. Hikaru had this versus Wesley So. He had this... not Wesley So. That's who he's playing now. Fabiano Caruana.
Okay, I was like, did they play the exact same position?
No, my bad. I'm just, you know, very focused on this guy. Against Fabiano in the Pro Chess League. And he had a really nice position. Like, very, very nice, like, from the opening. So... we'll see if he can kind of replicate that.
Hopefully he can. There's still plenty of games for this position in the database. Of course, it's a very early stage of the Vienna. But I'm happy to see this opening. He wasn't happy. Hikaru said yesterday when he joined us that he wasn't really happy with the games he played with the white pieces and the opening choice. That he didn't stick to what was working before at the earlier stage of the event and the previous tours. So I was curious what would be his decision for today because he clearly wanted to switch to something else.
Well, I think that this is the way to go. If you have to win a game, because the truth is, if Hikaru had lost the last game, he would have needed to get 2.5 points in 3 games against Wesley. Because he can't tie the match. He has to win the match, and then he has to play Blitz.
Yeah.
So if there's a draw in the first game, he still has to win. He still has to win this match. Like, we just survived 1 game, but we're still down 1-0.
Yeah, very important for those of you who asked what's the number 1 next to Carlsen's name, and so that is yesterday's match. So every match in the knockout system consists of 2 days. Day 1, Magnus Carlsen won, and day 1, Wesley So won, which means that Nepomniachtchi and Hikaru are in a must-win situation. They need to win today's match in order to earn the right to a playoff. So that would be 1-1 in those matches if Hikaru and Nepomniachtchi win. If they cannot make a comeback, there's no playoff, and Carlsen and So would move on to the finals.
And speaking of Nepo and Carlsen, what's happening in that game?
It's still so strange to see that Nepomniachtchi with the king on e8. Well, f6 kind of suggests he wants to place the king on f7. So you see that he cannot castle queenside, nor he can castle kingside, but he wants to connect the rooks. He decides to push f6 and then move king f7. I don't think you can survive a position like this against the world champion. It doesn't seem to be a solid defense, so to say.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Great.
I love the reactions. Can we clip that? Just Levy's analysis in 1 syllable sounds. I was gonna say words. No, just sound effects of 1 syllable.
Listen, like I say, Nepo is like a chef or a painter who doesn't have a mentor. He doesn't read any cookbooks. He has, okay, he doesn't even speak like this, but it's fine. So he has like, 10 ingredients and he need to make something. So what he'll do is he'll just throw it in he just throws it in. He just throws it, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Whatever he makes, kitchen explodes, or it'll be delicious. I mean, every game Nepo has is beautiful chaos. Sometimes he loses, sometimes he wins. He's like top 5 in the world though, so we have to believe in him.
Top 5 in the world with that style. It's really entertaining to watch because you never know what to expect. What you can expect is speed for sure. He still has over 12 minutes and a chaotic position with the king in the middle of the board.
He's kind of like a nightmare matchup in many ways because he's very well prepared theoretically, but he can also just do whatever he wants, it feels like, when he plays. Everything in this game so far is coming true. So Hikaru has played f4. Wesley has decided to be ultra passive. So bishop is mummified on e7. Literally can't breathe at all. Now, Hikaru has to come up with a combination of ideas here. So, for example, he can either take now or push. He can play king h1 to get out of the way of this. He can play knight g3 or queen f3. Or h3, g4, and then all of that same stuff. But he has to choose something. A lot of different plans.
I like this type of position for Hikaru. Also, I wonder if we could go for f5, but maybe not here, because d5 usually is a good punch reaction to a flank attack if we would have the time to push f5, g4, g5. In a dream position, not here. That would be great, but not when black can immediately respond with a central pawn break, d5. So f5 I think is not the best here. It's just something that we're gonna keep an eye on, maybe for a future position, because Wesley doesn't really want to take on f4. That will develop the pieces of Hikaru further. So e takes f4. Not an issue for knight takes f4 or bishop takes f4. Hikaru is patient. He plays h3 to guard the g4 square. That means he could also then place the bishop on e3 and there's no more knight g4 annoying the bishop.
Exactly. So Hikaru takes this away from Wesley, and he's doing something here called keeping the tension. He's leaving it within Wesley's right to take on f4, but he's also leaving it kind of impossible for Wesley to play d5, because then you would take here. h3 is a nice move. h3 is a nice move. It's a nice waiting move. It's very, how should I say, unnatural to take on e5, opening up the dark squared bishop.
I'm just loving the clips. That was a couple of clips that were made about Levy's analysis, and the latest one I see is he speaks the language of the gods.
Yes. Well, you can if you want, Anna. So here's the secret, Anna. You're ready for the secret. You cannot tweet a clip because it doesn't autoplay. So you gotta go. You gotta like turn it into like a video player just on Twitter. If you want, I could do that, and then you tweet it. You need to tweet something too.
Wait, so you download it, or you share the clip link? How do you play a clip? Would you share the link of the clip, or do you download it and upload it as a video?
I need the clip. Chat, where's the clip? Where's the language of the gods clip?
I have it. I have.
Oh, you have the link?
Yes. What do you do with it?
Okay.
Do you download it, or do you use it?
No,
as a link?
just send it. I got you.
Teach us.
Here we go. Well, I'm not teaching chat. They're here to learn chess. They can't listen. They got one lesson at a time. Yeah. Okay. This is a perfect position for Hikaru to try to play for a win, because Wesley. What? Oh, okay. Sorry, I was like 1, 2, 3, and 4. But he's gonna take on b3, I think, is the point, right? That's the point.
I guess that's the point. He takes on d5, and now it is Wesley who will eventually need to capture the bishop first. He cannot wait with it. He has been putting that aside for a while. He plays the knight on a5 on move 4. Now we are on move 11, and the bishop still has not been captured. But if he doesn't want to lose the pawn, and that's what he's eventually doing, he takes on b3 first, and after a takes b3, then he can take back on d5. C takes d5, or knight takes d5. Or he could also include bishop c5, but then d4, right?
Oh, but now queen f3. Yes, now queen f3. And now the isolated pawn, the open f-file, you know, bishop coming, rook coming. Good position for Hikaru. I mean, not winning yet or anything like that, but good position for sure. Good position for sure. I see a check. Does that mean it's good? Bishop c5 is a check.
I was so confused for a moment because I kept reading comments about how baby is crying in the background, and I'm not aware, I don't think either Levy's family or mine, I don't think we have any babies in our households. Like,
Anna?
so Anna? Like, whose baby is crying?
Anna, you fell for it. You don't... You...
Wait, is it the song? Because I don't hear the song. See, everybody hears the song but me.
Well, I don't hear it either.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't hear... I just know that a song is... Yeah.
Okay. Which song is it?
Oh man, it just went to the next song. Now Mark Anthony is playing. Yeah. No babies crying. You know, it's like the Call of Duty meme. There's always like a baby crying in someone's background when they're on voice chat. You hear like everyone, the person's life in when they're like talking to you. Right? Yeah, you know, I'm running this way. I'm gonna go this way, and then you hear like everything going on in the background. So.
I see. I see. I totally fell for it. I was like, I didn't realize that the Levis family has grown with an additional member.
No, I have like 2 or 3 adopted kids, but of the of the internet chess 10 wins in a row kind. So. Okay, Hikaru plays a move knight ce2. Chat, why would he go back? What's Hikaru doing? Why is he retreating? He's rerouting. His knight has no business going to b5. That's the wrong part of town. So he's going back to e2 to go to d4 or to g3 in the future. That's all. I had nothing else. Back to you, Anna.
I just started thinking about this knight maneuver, and also how this is a much more pleasant position for white. The d5 pawn is isolated forever. It doesn't have friends. It's very sad, but it would only have friends if there was an e or c pawn. They are gone from the board, so the d5 pawn is alone forever, and it's the pieces, the minor pieces or heavy pieces of black that will have to hold on to that pawn. As for Hikaru's structure, now the only vulnerable spot is the c2 pawn, but he could push c3 and then b4 or d4 or both.
Yeah, get the web, the trident, the trident of pawns.
The trident, exactly, the trident. He plays knight d4 because that also protects the pawn and threatens to take on e6. If we take twice, that's a fork.
Yes. Yes. Now, bishop c5 pins. Does he want to bring the knight back, or is he going to take on e6? Now, Hikaru can't go chop, chop, chop if the bishop is on c5. Because you got a king. Can't hang your king.
Cannot.
Don't do that.
Unless it's fog of war. In fog of war, you can.
I firmly believe you should be allowed to make illegal moves, and they should be able to take your king. I don't know why we prevent people from doing that. It would be a lot more fun that way, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So you would allow king capture. That would be the end of the game instead of illegal
why not?
moves.
Because what's the difference? The only difference is that it would just you would just learn to not do it. You'd lose a few games, and then you would just do it. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Why are we preventing people from making mistakes? I mean, you gotta live and learn.
I like it. Shall we send a petition to FIDE to change the rules of chess? It's not like it's been like this for hundreds of years.
The truth is actually, what is the unified rule system of chess? Like, under who has it? Where is it? Like, why can't we just start playing? Like, if chess.com just implemented this rule, would it become... It's a tournament practice thing, so we would have to go to FIDE? That's what you're saying?
I guess so. I guess it's the International Chess Federation. That would be my assumption, that they have the rules. But I agree with you guys. That's exactly what friends of mine keep telling me. I have many gamer friends who play either video games for a living as content creators, or they have been playing in their spare time video games, and they keep telling me, Anna, chess has not had an update in centuries. When is Chess 2 coming out? Maybe, Lev, it's time for Chess 2. The year 2020 has been a crazy one. Let's propose Chess 2 for the year 2021. Maybe chess.com will buy our idea, and we could launch Chess 2, where you can capture the king. Chess 2.0.
Well, it would need a few other tune-ups. I feel like it would need
We need more rules, not just the king capture. I do like that.
Like some adjustment of stalemate, like that it's not an auto draw, that it can end the game. Maybe the person with more material wins or loses. I don't know, something. Yeah. We have to think. Have to figure it out. Add a new piece. No, don't do that.
Oh, that's gonna be so. That's gonna be chaotic. I like the king capture. I do like that.
No, king capture for sure.
Give us more ideas, guys, because you are so original, so creative. I have seen those copy pastes. I know what you're capable of.
I have an idea.
Tell us about it, Levi. Tell us about it.
There can be moments in a game you can revive a piece. It will cost you 1 turn, but you take a piece that's been captured into your hand, and on the next move you can put it down on the board. You can't capture a piece, and maybe we can do you can't put it past a certain part of the board, but we can implement 1 Monster Reborn turn, and it costs you 1 turn, but you can do that like that.
So would it mean that if you play the Botas Gambit and blunder your queen away, you could still get it back for that 1 moment when you can use put the piece back?
You could play 2 Botas Gambits in the same game.
Oh, so it's not just a once in a game, but it will cost you 1 turn, but you can do it multiple times.
Apparently that's a rule in shogi. So I know about shogi, but I don't know the rules at all. Obviously the pieces still move differently, and the objective in shogi is also different. But yeah, we could. Why not? We can just steal a concept and use it as our own. I mean,
yeah,
American capitalism at its finest. So.
Guys, let's work on it. You can keep discussing this very important topic in the chat, and we're gonna go back to Hikaru's game. But yes, let's work on chess too. Maybe this is the new era of chess. Chess is finally getting that well-deserved update.
This could be the game, by the way. Hikaru's got a very nice little table of pawns here. The knight is sitting on top of it. Everything is guarded. Literally everything in Hikaru's position is protected except the rook on a1, but it doesn't really need a guard.
Yeah.
It just stares straight ahead, so... but now what, Anna? Now what? G4?
I mean, it looks crazy enough to play it. I like it, because we want to chase away the knight. The knight cannot be moved, because then f7 is in trouble. And g5 also threatens to basically trap the knight. The knight has nowhere to move to. Even if you guard the f7 pawn, it would have nowhere to go to. Maybe black has to play something very passive, such as rook f8. But then g5, the pawn on d5 is hanging too. I like it. Can we play g4? It's crazy, but it could be brutal.
The whole idea here has to be to get rid of the knight. I mean, Wesley's going to move this bishop at some point. So maybe Hikaru needs bishop d6, bishop f4, and then trading the bishop on d6 first.
King h1, Hikaru steps away from the a7 g1 diagonal and potentially prepares g4. Is he thinking of g4 at all, or is he thinking of something else?
He plays king h1, so he's moving out of the pin, which actually is also a very important move in this position. So he's no longer pinned. He's no longer pinned.
His king h1 has triggered a hype train. Thank you, guys. Keep up the support. Keep sending positive energy Hikaru's way, because remember, this is the day. This is the day when he needs a comeback. He escaped from a lost position in the previous game, so that's a good start to not lose that game, but now we need a win. What have you noticed, Levi? It sounded like you see something.
Rook a6 is a very strange move. I also sent you the file. You can upload that if you want. You can get your tweet in of the day. Language of the gods.
Send it?
It's sending right now.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, I see it now. Thanks.
So we can language of the gods, huh?
Beautiful.
Language of the gods. We take turns with the social media. Man, I'm so bad. You know, every day I wanted to put on Instagram that we're live and to, you know, do the whole swap. Not a single day have I remembered to do it. Not once. So
it's just there's not enough time in the day. I feel like I also only opened my Twitter while we were already on air, and I'm realizing I'm missing out on like reacting to tweets I should have. I'm gonna address everything after the show, hopefully. Thanks to Hikaru for tweeting so many nice things about us as well, about the show, about the coverage, and he especially emphasized how I'm racing toward 100k followers and we are already at 70, and how happy he was about it yesterday too. He said it's the 1st of January though. I thought I had time until the end of January, and now it's 1 month less, basically. It's 1 month less to hit 100k. He believes in me too much. I
will say that like this whole deadline thing, like when they say January, is it January 1st or 31st? I know, for example, that with COVID and travel restriction, people are getting obviously like stranded in certain parts of the world, like maybe with their family, and they can't go back, and there's actually some issues about like getting your permanent residency renewed. And some countries' deadlines are like January 22nd. And it's like, why is your deadline the most random day? It's like, let's pick the most random day in January. It will be that day. So 1st, 31st, no, it's like 22 or something. Zero Divisor, gifting some subs over in Hikaru's chat. We appreciate you very much. This is the game. Thus far in this match, this has been Hikaru's best position. He is, and yet still, Anna, that doesn't mean a damn thing at this level. I mean, it just means you have to push it through somehow.
This is the best position we've had so far in the match, except for this game in yesterday's final round, where Hikaru was one tempo away from that elaborate checkmate idea where he would give up the queen and deliver checkmate through the h5. We didn't see it. We didn't see that idea coming. Hikaru said it was one tempo short, the variation, unfortunately. But this now is not a forcing line where there's something going on. It's just a slightly better position that he can build on. So practically speaking, this is great. It's not a one move thing he has to find. It's not a forcing line that he has to calculate, but it's just a pleasant position for white, which is not too much of an advantage as of now, but it is most certainly more difficult for Wesley to find the most precise moves. So it's highly likely that if Hikaru keeps putting pressure on Wesley, and that's what he's doing with rook f2. He's ready to bring the other rook as well, ready to push g4. The more pressure, the more likely that Wesley can make a mistake.
Wow, this is a very, very strange move, b5. And there's g4, by the way. b5 is principled in the sense like, okay, well, I want to go b4 and I want to attack you on this side of the board. I know a lot of people who would play a move like b5, and I'd be like, why is that a good move? And they would say, well, if knight takes, bishop takes. Have you heard this before, Anna? b5 is good because they can't take me.
Yeah, in a way, it's a move that's a guaranteed okay move, but you need a follow-up, because now after g4, the same things apply that you mentioned, Levi, earlier, that g5 is the threat. The knight has nowhere to go.
Yeah, the knight's got nowhere to go. At some point, something will happen between these two bishops. Something just happened between those two bishops, and Wesley plays rook e5. Wow. Physically preventing g5. Like, no. Actually, physically preventing it would be pawn to g5. Rook e5 is preventing it by moving his rook to the center. Oh, man. Hikaru has to continue to try to find ways to put some pressure on him. How is he going to do that?
What if...
Real quick, just real quick.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to switch the boards. I mean, I see a lot of drama happening. Magnus... Nepo gave back the advantage or something? What was going on? No, Magnus isn't losing.
Magnus had an advantage earlier. Nepo's king was in the trouble in the center, but apparently they have exchanged so many pieces since that Magnus is doing all right. He's now the one escaping.
Yeah, I just wanted to pop it up in the on the big board, but if you look at the bottom left, guys, this is looking completely okay. Completely okay for Nepo. Very weird position though. Super strange. Yeah, okay. How is Hikaru gonna play here? I think Hikaru has to go back to go forward again. Hikaru's gotta play like knight e2, knight g3, knight g2, knight e3.
I think that's a great idea. A knight maneuver.
Or
Heading
g1.
toward. Yeah, so we could go for the knight maneuver you suggested. We could bring the a1 rook to the king side. There are a couple of ways in which he can play. He can also push b4 if he wants to fix the pawns on the queen side before moving the rook away, because b4 there's a pin over the a file.
There is. The problem, yeah, I mean, if you go rook g1 to try to go g5, is that Wesley is in time. Wesley's rook... This is like GMs have total mind-bending understanding of the game. Rook a6, b5, and rook e5. Like 3 moves I would have literally never played. I would have not played any of those moves.
Yeah. And after rook g1, apparently one of the suggestions of the engine is to place the black rook on g5 to make sure that the pawn is not moving. h6 is more human, I think.
No, I mean, yeah, he plays h6. Now Hikaru... Can he play h4? I don't see a problem with it. People saying knight h5 is an obvious move.
It looks nice, the f-file attack.
It is. The thing is, it doesn't actually threaten anything, because yes, if I take, you have queen takes f7. But if knight h5, I don't have to take. The rook is guarding the knight. I mean, like, that's how Wesley understands the position, that the rook on a6...
Yeah.
Man. So Hikaru goes h4. I mean, he has to go for it. But if you don't beat Wesley in a game like this, when will you beat Wesley? Like, he's just playing so well. But it's still very complicated, this position. I mean, it's 0-0-0, but I don't mean a thing. There's no forced draw. It is very imbalanced. Very, very imbalanced.
And because it's so imbalanced, yes, Wesley has been playing well. He has been defending very well this position too, but one move, just one inaccuracy, and it could go fully wrong because the position is really complex. So I think that's great that the nature of the position is the type where Hikaru has been putting pressure on Wesley. So far, Wesley has been holding on. He has been defending very well, but all it takes is one misstep and the position on the king side can collapse.
What do you play here? You definitely don't go for g5. That is one thing that you don't do. I think you... I don't know what you do. Because Hikaru's also going to play Rook FG2 and G5, and the rocket ship is going to take off on the G file. Well, Bishop G4, guys, no, that's not a good decision. Because I would take the Rook, and you would get Knight and Bishop for Pawn and Rook, and Knight and Bishop 9 times out of 10 are going to be better than the Rook and the Pawn. Like, easily 9 times, maybe 8 times out of 10 if you wanted somebody to do regression, but don't give away 2 pieces.
Usually not a good idea, usually not.
So what does Wesley play? Because here's the thing, like, if Wesley moves his knight, for example, like to h7 to get out of the way, it stops guarding d5, and knight d5 is just winning.
The queen is hanging and f7 is hanging too, yes.
So he can't move his knight, which means that, like, g5 will happen, probably, at some moment.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other guy will play g5. Something's gonna happen on the g5 square in the next few moves.
I think
Something's
so.
gonna happen.
Yeah, I would definitely go for that prediction of yours, that's the key of the position, g5. And it's not easy to make a move here. Yes, everything for now is well guarded, but g5 is an issue, and knight h7 fails to knight takes d5. Wesley apparently plays the top move of the endgame, once again the most accurate defense, but after rook g2, ooh, he goes g5. This is what you said, Labi, that yeah, if he places a pawn there, that would physically stop it, but it's such a difficult move to make.
It is a difficult move to make, and after hg5, is Wesley gonna put his rook on g5? Then it's not even clear who's attacking who. Maybe now Hikaru goes knight h5. And that will open up the file there for the rooks. But can Wesley take on h5 and then just play f6? Oh my gosh. Knight h5, take f6, and the pawns guard the g5 square?
You're kidding. That's the defense. Oh.
Okay, so Hikaru takes. What does Wesley take back with? What a fight. What a fight. Whatever's going to happen, now the rooks will try to transfer over to the h file. So the position's opening up. HG, guys, when pawns are traded, think how the position changes. The h file is now open. Maybe the same for Wesley. Maybe the whole h file will be open. But I think he goes rook g5. I think he goes rook g5. It just looks a little bit more, you know, whatever this means. Just looks more...
Looks more active because it puts even more pressure on the g4 pawn. It's more flexible too. You are not fixing the pawn structure. I think rook takes g5 is better, and he goes for it.
He goes for it. This is still so complicated. Even losing this pawn, now Wesley has 4 things attacking this. Losing this pawn could be good for Hikaru. The open g file would be very nice.
I don't know what's gonna happen here. And I also just realized that because the action has heated up, I was halfway through tweeting your clip, Levy, and then I stopped because I was like,
go ahead.
What's the caption? What do I say?
You gotta, you gotta,
No, wait a second. I cannot just tweet now. Knight h5, what is going on? The g4 pawn?
So, Hikaru's hoping on this. Apparently, knight takes g4 is very good here for black. That's the reason the eval bar is doing what it's doing. Why is that?
And it's gone now. So what's the refutation? What is it that Hikaru has planned here?
Was he going to sacrifice? I mean, did he? Is there a chance he missed this move? Because when you play knight h5, a lot of things can all take each other, but the knight moves out of the way. And I don't know. We don't have Hikaru's reaction. I mean, maybe he's probably gonna sack and play this. That's what he wants.
I'm really confused if he missed that the g4 pawn will be taken, or he thought he has a follow-up here that he doesn't, because now he clearly has slowed down and he comes back with the knight to f4, which is not a good sign.
Yeah, but now Wesley can bring the second rook.
Yeah.
So he gets forward progress, and he's gonna get the second rook to defend himself. Yeah, and then it's... Then it's not easy. Probably have to sidestep the pin so that you can try to play knight d5. I mean, it's crazy that, like, where you play the attack, the guy is able to fight back immediately. I mean, it's just like, no, Wesley's just playing great chess, like, straight up. Like, Wesley is just playing very well. What do? You know, you need a guy to make mistakes. Has Wesley made, like, one? I don't know.
I think the only mistakes he made were like in the previous game. He had a winning position and he then blundered a perpetual, but his mistakes never cost him
Right.
the point,
Yes.
the full point.
I apologize. That was a silly question. Last game was a pretty insane blunder. Yes. At
Can
least,
he make
like,
a mistake from this position? That will be now the question.
yeah, now he plays b4, and look, like, now his moves. How many moves ago did he play b5? Like 10 moves ago, basically. He
Yeah,
played a...
about 10.
Yeah, and there you go. Now it's all justified. Now he's breaking through. Their ability to control every phase of the game at this level is astounding. Just astounding how well they play. And how well they just control and see everything that can unfold. We're out here playing, you know, one move that attacks a rook. They're out here playing b5 going, well, in the long term, I'll bring up my rook and I'll be able to transfer it over here to meet Hikaru's attack with a counterattack of my own. And when he's distracted on the king side, I'll be able to create a queen side counterplay. I'm just, like, remembering how pieces move. And these guys are just solving the game.
That's how it feels like. I'm so sorry for Hikaru again, because it felt like after rook takes g5, the position is really complex and unclear, but with knight h5, he must have forgotten that the g4 pawn will be captured, or he had a follow-up line that wasn't actually the right one, so then he realized and he stepped back. But in whether it's the first case or the second, in both cases, he blundered something. He made a mistake, and then it was too late to correct it. The pawn is gone, and now it's Wesley who has the upper hand again, and we need a miracle comeback again.
The problem with this position versus the last one is that it seems like the only place where you can create counterplay is the side of the board where Wesley just has a clear bind. I mean, he's got the rooks here. Question is, though, how will Wesley win? Where is Wesley's win? Does he have one?
I sure hope he does not have one, but he has an extra pawn. He has an extra pawn. And
Nepo...
in worst case scenario, he would simplify the position. About Nepo, we're gonna say.
No, I'm just saying Nepo is in an endgame. Oh, he's down 2 pawns. That's it. That's it. I think Nepo goes down. I think Magnus strikes back. Big win there for Magnus. He hasn't won yet, but wow, Queen C7 is minus 7.5.
Goodness me.
Just paralyzing the white pieces.
Well, we then definitely need Wesley to choose something else, if that's such a powerful move. But I'm afraid that this is a type of position where even if Wesley doesn't play the #1 move of the engine constantly, it still is an extra pawn, and with the 2 rooks on the king side, the knight guarded on g4, there's just very small room for going wrong. And there he plays the top move of the engine again, Queen c7.
Yeah, Queen c7. Queen c7 indeed. And I mean, it's at this level, to play a move like that is it's honestly not super challenging. You just kind of realize that white can't move a single thing, and at a certain moment you will move your knight. And the queen and the rook will all be hanging. You can even maybe go for the h-file attack, like you have a pawn here. Oh man. What to say? Wesley's getting, you know, we have our pasta, and Hikaru eats a lot of pasta, by the way, when he plays in these things. So we have pasta in the chat. Hikaru's probably eating pasta. And
we need more of those, guys. I don't know what you did in the first game, but it worked. So can you please do it again? Because need another miracle. It's not how we planned this day. It's not how we wanted the games to go. But again, Hikaru needs a miracle, an absolute miracle to save this, to come back from the dead again.
d4. Man. People are changing their opinion a little bit. of Wesley. I don't know why we have such a perception that that Wesley's like just solid and boring or anything like that, you know?
He's very solid, but it also means he barely ever makes mistakes, and he can capitalize on the opponent's mistakes. It's really difficult to play against him. That's exactly what Hikaru said too, that Wesley is just, in my words, I would say a wall that's really difficult to break. It's very difficult to get through this wall because it's either a draw or Wesley is better and tries to convert. He barely ever gets into lost positions.
Yeah, like he's also a world champion.
Official random. That's one of the trophies he shows in his home tour, because there have been a couple of clips that the players recorded, and one of the requests of the organizers was for the players to record where they are playing from, because most of them are playing from their homes. This is an online event. This is the year 2020. Everything has changed. Hikaru playing from the TSM facilities, but in case of Wesley, it's his home. It's the family house where he's playing from, and he was showing a couple of his trophies, including the official random world championship trophy he got by beating Magnus.
Man, this is such a strange position. It's like all the pieces are hugging each other. There's no pawns. Like no one. It's just kind of funny, like how close together all these pieces are. How do you see through all this chaos? What squares are being hit? You know, if Wesley's bishop was a dark squared bishop, by the way, this would just be immediately game over. But how is this going to, like, you know, I gotta say, Wesley's got a minute. You know, we know it's -10. We see that thing on the left-hand side. How is Wesley going to exactly win this thing? Because to win this thing, he might need to do something, right? Like, push the pawn aggressively, or find a nice tactic in time trouble. But Anna, he has 40 seconds. Like, is it completely hopeless?
I don't think it's hopeless. We just need another big mistake from Wesley. So, we need the copy pastas. Move repetition, maybe. Can we go back and forth? Can we go back and forth? I've just tweeted, by the way, the amazing commentary that we are producing here. It's a new genre. I think BBC and CNN and Eurosport are taking notes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, esports needs a lot less words. We need more
Yeah,
we need more just sounds. Wait. Wesley? Okay, Wesley's not going to repeat again, right? Oh my, is he actually?
please do. Please do. Yeah, Wesley, you've done this in previous games, mainly in the preliminaries where he didn't need to win. In the knockout system, I think it's a different mindset. I think he's teasing Hikaru. I think he's teasing him and he will switch, but please, I don't want to be right here. I want him to.
Yeah, he took. He, you know, the thing is also when you repeat moves, he took, and now the engine's released its grip on the position, but the problem is here Hikaru has to play queen e1. And if he plays queen e1, he will suffer in the endgame forever. It could be the best move, but it's not the most practical for a human who's trying not to lose. You will just lose, slowly. You know, whereas, why does queen h4 not dismantle black's position? Well, right now, white is trying to defend more than anything. Actually, queen h4 in that position, there was a mate.
That's an issue, checkmate in one, but even without wondering the checkmate, we are in this moment 2 pawns down, and the white king is constantly under attack too.
Rook h5, there is queen g4. So Wesley does have to be precise. He has to retreat the rook to the right square. Now you can, by the way, play knight f4 and repeat one more time.
Yeah, on our small board, by the way, that was the final move of Magnus Carlsen, h5 check, winning the game. So Magnus Carlsen ties the score today, and he won yesterday's match. Now it's 1-1 in today's match, and 2 more games to go in that match.
Wesley So has blundered.
What?
Wesley So has blundered from a +10 position. Knight e5, a move played with 15 seconds on the clock, and I think he missed that after something taking on f3, there is knight f8.
Oh! Guys, you did it again.
Hold on.
Keep going.
Oh, he missed that after rook g6, queen e5, there is mate, but he forgets that there is queen f2. So now he has to take like this. The rook is hanging, the knight is hanging, but Hikaru has knight f8 check here. He has knight f8 check.
Knight
He also has 97.
F8.
He actually also has 97 threatening mate.
Yeah, he has both. And both seem to be just fine for Hikaru. What a turn of events. Could he even win this? Could he even win this? Please, please tell me he can even win. The rook is hanging and the rook is tied down to the defense of the f3 knight.
Yes.
If black takes on e1, we just take on f6, threatening mate on g8.
Yeah, knight e1, there might even be queen b8, some like completely insane. Yeah, knight f6 is of course very simple.
And Wesley has no time. Wesley's running out of time. He must be nervous. He must be really nervous here.
And, okay. I mean, he's... Wait, sorry, am I insane? A rook e6, there's gonna be some check, probably. Or did Wesley just lose the knight? Rook e6 and queen f3. What?
Yeah, we could simply capture the knight. And then Wesley has to try to go for lots of checks, capturing the pawn on d4 perhaps to compensate with the number of pawns. He would have 3 pawns in that position for the knight, but what a... This is a game changer. This is an absolute game changer that Wesley missed knight f8 check.
Man, this is wild stuff. I mean, now it's Hikaru's turn to breathe and be like, okay, of course I can play this. And that's, okay, of course he can play it, and of course he plays it. Now, Wesley goes to take the pawn. Wesley has 3 pawns for the knight. He is not... Now, by the way, Hikaru might just repeat moves. He has just the draw in hand. Queen f8, queen f7, easy draw. Because if queen g7, listen, you lose. So
exactly. If he wants a draw, he can take it right now. But he also could easily decide if he sees any potential in this position to play for a win, he will do it. It's not simple. So he has an extra piece, but black has 3 pawns for it, and our pawn is on b3. It's very, very difficult to imagine it could ever become a passed pawn. Maybe he will take the draw because he knows that he was completely lost before.
it's also kind of insane. Well, the thing is, you can take on e6. Probably that's just the easiest, to just take the pawn on e6 and make Wesley make the draw, like rather than Hikaru making the draw.
True, he could take the pawn and black will then go for the perpetual check.
So like some sort of check, and the problem is honestly the pawn on b4. Otherwise the white king would run out to the queen side to get out of all the checks. So guys, remember, in chess there is a perpetual check. If you do the same 3 checks kind of in a sequence of shuffling, the game ends in a draw, so that the game would not go forever. Same thing for repetition of moves, and same thing for 3 position repetition. So, oh, queen e8 is very tricky. There is a chance that king h7 loses the game here to knight f8.
Yes. So Wesley finds king g7 the only move.
Yeah, that was very tricky stuff. Now maybe he... Well, no, running forward is terrifying. So he doesn't
Because then
play
you
it.
can take the pawn with check too. I think now Hikaru will capture on e8, but that capture on e6, but that allows the perpetual.
Yeah, knight f8 is the other idea, but still the problem is that you cannot escape the box. Yeah, and so Hikaru plays queen e6.
It's happening.
Is it queen h4 or is it queen a1? Or is it queen d1? Or is it all 3 of them? Uh-oh.
Hopefully not all of them. Hopefully Wesley still needs to be precise and find the exact squares, but this has to be a perpetual check.
Hey, there is a chance Hikaru runs his king to d6 and is just winning. Like, loses the b pawn, but is still winning the game.
Hopefully.
But that's a huge risk.
I think he will always have... Hikaru doesn't have too much to risk because he will always have that pattern too where he can keep giving checks. So yeah, why not try to bring the king? Wesley makes a mistake! Wesley takes the pawn without giving a check, and now apparently Hikaru has something that's winning. Hopefully it's true.
Wait, that's wild stuff. Is it actually winning? Does he have a way to win this? Does he have a way to win this position?
I sure hope so. I don't know what it is, but Hikaru starts with a queen f6 check. Let's see, what's the follow-up? What is the follow-up?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't...
Goes back to e7.
Okay, oh, Wesley's running out. What? Woohoo! Okay. If king h7, queen f7, knight f6, you're just glued in. I mean, it's mate. At that point, you just... Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Wait, oh, okay, go back. Stop. King G4, you get mated. Stop. What is happening here?
He has to go back to G6. Now Queen F6, King H5 has to be the only move.
So again, if this, you have like the net. Oh my god, how is Wesley not just completely lost? This is insanity.
Yeah, how is this not lost?
How does he play this like so cold-blooded? Just
Yeah.
so
What a strange decision by Wesley, but it seems that he's escaping by a miracle here.
now Hikaru can play a move and Wesley doesn't have a check.
True.
So-
he could bring the knight now.
Yeah, the knight to e5, for example.
Uh-huh. Knight e5 I do like.
Oh.
Well, this check first and then bring the knight is also possible.
Oh.
Can
Well,
he
there's
bring
Queen
the
G3
space?
in this version. There's Queen G3
Oh,
in this
okay.
version.
We need the queen on f2 and then bring the knight.
Yeah, or we need the
He
king.
can go back. Yeah.
You
he
can
go
you
back
can.
now,
Oh, you can also go that way. Okay.
but that doesn't guard the king. Does he want to play knight f6 with a check?
Are we excited for no reason?
Maybe.
this like-
But it just looked like there could be something. It's
it-
crazy how Wesley went into this. I guess he had no choice at that stage after blundering that combination with knight takes g6, knight f8. He had no choice.
Yeah, this has been a chase of that king. This could very well still be a draw, but that doesn't mean that we're gonna go down quietly. Man, it's crazy. I was thinking this game was gonna be over fast, and oh, we have a chance here. No, Wesley's actually realized that he can go to h5. So he's not gonna go back to the corner.
Yeah, I think this essentially has to be a draw, but it felt like we were this close to making more than a draw out of a losing position. Just remember, this is the same game where Hikaru was completely lost.
Yeah, just insane, and the time helped there. The time helped. I mean, it's part of the game. Okay, Hikaru plays queen. Queen c4, trying to trade. You get hit with knight e5. Oh boy, that's very tricky.
Nice.
That's very tricky. But queen c3 should just be fine. Just queen c3 and
I guess so, yeah.
slide the queen over one square. I mean, Hikaru messes around a little bit. He might, guys, no, knight f8 is no good. You need your queen. Whoop, that's not what happened in the game. I apologize. I clipped the square. I clicked the square. I debated you guys. Queen c3 is on the board. That was me clicking. That was not what actually happened. I will not touch the mouse now. It's not what happened. I apologize for getting your hopes up. By the way, they're not losing on time because every move they make, they get 10 seconds bonus. The time format is 15 minutes per player, and every time that they play a move, they get an extra 10 seconds. So, no, I just... Deep breath, deep breath. Sorry, guys.
I guess this eventually will be a draw, but there's still... I think Hikaru still just tries to see whether Wesley can go wrong, whether there will be any moment where Wesley would play the inaccurate way of defense. Knight f8 check. The position is changing. It's not exactly the same, and he's trying to get that knight into the attack. He can give a check on e6 or h7, f7, d7. So many options.
And the other issue is that now the queen is protected and cuts kind of some important squares. Although he can take the pawn with a check, but then the king is gonna run toward the... You know, this endgame is actually a little bit scary, because if the king makes it to c4 successfully, black is playing for a win with the passed pawns. I'm just saying, like, oh, it's a draw. Oh, Hikaru played... Oh, Hikaru's smart. He played queen h6 and he said, I had enough. Draw, draw. It was never actually in any real danger. Like, it's still always going to be a draw, but it can get a little bit... those pawns?
Yeah.
So...
It is now... Wesley, if he gets out of the checks, he does have a pass pawn 3 squares away from promotion. The f8 knight is not helping. I think overall we need to be very happy for this game, because Hikaru did have a better position out of the opening. So first he took the initiative, he had the upper hand, but it wasn't much of an advantage. Wesley defended super precisely, and then Hikaru blundered. If we go back to that moment just to show that knight h5 move, when his pawn on g4 is taken and he realizes it, so he comes back to f4 with the knight, but that clearly is the recognition of making a mistake. I made a mistake, now I need to try to hold the position, but it was a lost one. It was a lost case. And then Wesley made a blunder when he blundered
Oh my
knight
god.
takes g6, knight f8.
Completely insane. You guys are getting here. I mean, Hikaru literally is walking on water. This man saved an endgame last game that just looked... but look at this. I mean, he was getting hydraulic pressed this game by the evaluation bar. And Wesley repeated moves to do his patented little, you know, tilt-a-roo right here. Then he took and immediately blundered. The chess god shined down, and he blundered here with knight e5, going for a tactic. And Hikaru saves the day once again. Now, there are 47,000 combined viewers. Our record is about 50 or 51. Your support's been amazing. Those of you who are, you know, giving Prime Gaming subs, I see tons of sub gifts today on all the channels, and listen, in all of this, just drop a follow if you haven't already. I mean, today we're streaming on Hikaru. Well, we're streaming every day on Hikaru. Today we're on mine. Some days we're on Anna's. Every other day we're on Anna's. So let's give Anna a proper shout out. If you haven't hit the follow button, I don't really know what you're waiting for. Hikaru has 2 games now. 2 games that he needs to beat Wesley. If he doesn't beat Wesley, he's eliminated from this thing in the semifinal, and Wesley will move on to the final. So Hikaru has to stop getting these positions that he has to save. He needs to win a game in the next 2 games, either with black or with white. And Anna, by the way, the world champion himself, who's up 1-0 in his match, has started his 3rd rapid game against Jan Nepomniachtchi.
Exactly. There are no breaks for the show. There's no time to stop, even for a breather. But yes, that's exactly the situation. Hikaru needs a huge comeback. He has been producing huge comebacks from losing positions, saving the day in those games. But because he lost yesterday, the rapid match today, it's not enough to hold half a point. We need a game from their last 2 games. We need one of them to be a win for Hikaru. That's the only way forward. That's the only way forward.
It is the only way forward. This position is a main line. This is like a super duper main line in the Spanish. This is a more modern version. Knight c3, bishop comes back here to avoid the trade, and Magnus is offering a trade of bishops so that when he castles, he'll open things up here. We're watching a lot of Hikaru's games, but the world champion, Magnus Carlsen, won his rapid games against Jan Nepomniachtchi yesterday. So today, as long as he doesn't lose in the rapid section, he will move on to the final. Anna, the year that Magnus has had, he's won close to $1 million in prize money, or like 600K, by winning so many of these things. He and Hikaru, for those of you that are new, had a barn burner of a match that we covered.
We did
went down
here
to
on
the
the Hikaru channel, GMHikaru at Twitch.
It went down to the final game. So
It
every time one of
did.
these things happens, we want another Magnus versus Hikaru final.
Always, because that match left us with the feeling that Hikaru was so close. Hikaru was the first to draw blood. He won on the first day of the match. Magnus had to make a comeback the next day. He did. Then Hikaru won again and took the lead. It was always back and forth. Hikaru taking the lead, Magnus tying the score. Hikaru taking the lead, Magnus back, and eventually Magnus won in the final Armageddon. But we won that match again because Hikaru was this close. And if Hikaru makes a comeback today, it will happen again. The dream finals of everyone. Hikaru Nakamura versus Magnus Carlsen. We want to see it again.
We do want to see it again, and well, Magnus in this game, he's now accomplished the legendary Connect 4. He's playing Jan Nepomniachtchi. If you guys don't know who Jan Nepomniachtchi is, I believe he's the #1 ranked player in Russia at the moment, probably in all 3 time controls. He's the best Russian player in the world, which means a lot. Russia is still very much a chess powerhouse, not just from the Queen's Gambit show, but for the last like 70 years. His playing style is controlled chaos, and he needs to beat Magnus. He's actually in the exact same situation that Hikaru's in. His match was 1-1, and he lost yesterday. So he has to beat Magnus to force the blitz.
And I'm just being informed that why we were focusing so much on the games and the Twitter sphere as well. I missed the comment by Hikaru. He did pop in between games. That's what he does. He spent his time here on his Twitch channel. He popped in, and he's really happy to see the support. He's extremely happy that so many of you show up every single day to support him. So thank you so much from Hikaru's side as well. If you guys missed the comment just as much as I missed, because it was flying by. There's so many comments in the chat, but Hikaru did come by and say hi to all of you.
Yeah, we're just hoping that whatever happens in this match on our screen now, Magnus and Nepo started first because they finished their other game before these guys. There was a 10-minute break between the games. The format is of all of this is that they play 4 games of what's called rapid chess. That's 15 minutes per player and 10-second bonus every time you make a move. Whoever wins the best of 2 mini-match of these 4 games will move on to the final, which begins tomorrow. However, the big however, if it's 1-1 in the rapid section, you have to play blitz chess, which has a lot of different formats. Most common 3-minute or 3-minute and 2-second bonus. This tournament has a, modern art twist on it all with 5-minute, 3-second bonus time. Anna, is that even a thing in Over the Board? Do people play any 5-3 over the board?
Or... I was thinking whether that was a time control and the World Rapid and Blitz, and I would need to know it because I was there.
It's 3-2. No, World Rapid and Blitz is 3-2. I don't think it's 5-3.
Okay, then I'm not too confused because I would have thought the same, that 3-2 is the most common.
Yeah, 3-2 is very common.
5+3, Nathan is saying 5+3 is also very common. So these two, 3+2 and 5+3. In online chess though, 3+2 is the standard. Because that's what we use in sub battles, 3-0 or 3+2. So sub battles mark the standard in the world for world championships, every super tournament, sub battles.
Yes. It's happens all the time. I mean, if it's featured in sub battle, it means it's elite level time control. It's not. Okay, someone in my chat said that you and I should box, and frankly speaking, I am kind of terrified of Anna.
Haven't you seen these guns?
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not. I really would not like that at all. We need to suggest less formats where I lose at something. So ping pong I'm pretty decent at. Although Eric Rosen beat me there anyway.
I like ping pong too. How good you are at ping pong?
I'm like passable. It's the thing that like everyone. Whoa. Okay. Ping pong aside, where Magnus. Everything can take everything here. Take, this can take, that can take, that can take, that can take. Everything.
Everything will be captured. What's the resulting position? And also, let me take a look at the database because I haven't been observing this before.
This definitely has never happened before. One thing, I think I was notified that we hit combined 50k, which is very, very cool. One thing that we do is we will check something called the players database, which features tournament games by all levels, and we try to focus on the Grandmaster games, whether or not this has happened before. Anna, has it happened?
We abandoned the paths of theory long ago, as you said. There was still one game for Bishop G5 in a battle between 2 players rated 2000. I don't think that's the preparation of Magnus and Nepo. So yeah, this is a new, basically brand new theory.
Okay, because this is weird stuff. You know who I feel bad for? I feel bad for Nepo's A2 bishop. It got an apartment with no window.
Yeah.
In the bedroom. I mean, that's not good. It can't see anything from where it is. So will he play b3 or some rook, knight, pawn, bishop b1, something like that?
One of the highest level games that I find for this type of position was after move 13 d5. There, the move bishop to g5 is more common, and it was played by, for instance, the world champion challenger Sergei Karyakin against Pentala Hari Krishna.
Wow, this has happened.
Yeah, just a year ago. So that's the most common. Queen f3, I don't see in any Grandmaster game.
Also, Nepo was inspired by the lower-rated players of the database, and he said, if they can do it, I can do it better. Obviously, the position is still balanced. Very, very strange game. I mean, it's imbalanced, but it's all kind of equal, is what I mean.
Yeah. And also, of course, just because it's not bishop g5 but queen f3, what happened in the game. In the other line too, the main idea is that black will push c4. And as Levi said, that a2 bishop is not really enjoying the view from that square. It's just a very passive piece. So c4 is always the case, always the main idea of black.
We wait at the bottom left for Hikaru and Wesley So to take their seats and begin their game. Man, it's such a strange moment. Like, who feels better in that match is a really big question. Is it Hikaru who said, damn, you know, I saved 2 games, now I gotta stop messing around, I gotta win? Yeah. Or is it Wesley who's like, I was so close twice, I'ma get this, man? It's really hard to tell. It's really hard. I don't know.
It is a difficult situation for both, I believe, because you have things to be happy about, but also frustrating stuff for Hikaru, obviously, that he got into 2 really bad positions, 2 lost positions. It feels amazing that he manages to save both. He escaped from the dead basically in both of his games, so that gives you a boost. But for the overall quality of the game, he did miss. He did miss a couple of features, couple of aspects of the position in both. So I don't think he's too happy about it, but I'm hoping that he will consider this his lucky day. Escaping from 2 extremely bad positions is not something that you can do anytime. So if this is his lucky day, let's hope that the next game will be the one where he takes the initiative and converts and not just escapes from a worse one.
He has the black pieces in the next game. Wesley might go back to e4. It did work well. And he also could go back to d4, just because he knows that 2 draws is all he needs. I don't know. All I know in terms of results is Hikaru has to win at least 1 of the next 2 games.
Yeah.
At least 1. That's
the issue, that for Wesley, 2 draws are fine. So once again, the format, every match, we are in the semifinals, and the semifinals consist of 2 matches. Yesterday was the first set, and today is the second set. If the result today is 2-2, in the match of Hikaru, there's no more continuation. There's no playoff, no more games, because Wesley won yesterday's set. Today could be a tie. That doesn't matter for Wesley. He will move on to the final. So Hikaru has to win 1 of the next 2 games and then earn the right to play the playoff and then win the playoff. That's the one way forward.
Anna, I'm going to quickly use the restroom, if that's cool with you, before our next game starts.
Yeah, okay. Take your time.
Take my time? Oh, okay, great. No,
I want to take over. I want to take over fully. So now that I'm left alone with you guys, and we can talk about Levi and his 1-syllable, 1-sound commentary. No, just kidding. He's an amazing co-host and producer of the show. I hit myself while I was trying to explain. He is the producer of the show. Thank you so much for being here. Honestly, we cannot thank you guys enough, because your support, every single day you show up and you are like, bro, Hikaru must win. We need to copy pasta, and we're gonna spam flower power, and we're gonna send all our energy his way, and we're gonna make sure that he advances to the next stage. He lost on the first day against Maxim Veselagrov. He thought he was eliminated. Do you guys remember that interview? Do you guys remember when he joined us here on his channel and he didn't know there was a next day? He didn't know. And then he came back the next day. He beat Maxim. He made an incredible, amazing comeback. And now we are here in the semifinals. Similar situation. He knows the format now. He knows there's a next day, but today is the last day. If today he does not win in the next 2 games, there is no next day. This is the $1.5 million Champions Tour, the first event of it. There will be, I can't speak anymore. There will be a next one, end of December. But for now, today, it's all or nothing. And we prefer it's all. We prefer that he can earn the final match against Magnus Carlsen, because it does seem like Nepomniachtchi, even though he won the first game of the day against Magnus, he then goes down in the second one and Magnus is leading in the match. So I think Magnus will qualify to the finals. He usually is in the finals, and I want to see Hikaru facing Magnus again. How many of you want to see a final between Hikaru and Magnus? Can you say me? Hi, hello. Hikaru versus Magnus. Anything you want to say? How many of you want to see the finals between Hikaru and Magnus? Because in order to have that final, in order to see Hikaru fighting against the world champion again, we need him to win today. There's no other result possible. He has to win. He's got the black pieces. I will need Levi to be back because he's got the control of the board. And there are moves happening. Hikaru's game has started. We are looking at it on the small board, but from the wrong side. So if you take a look at this tiny board here, Hikaru's got the black pieces. As soon as Levi comes back, and I think he's here, we're going to put that board on the big one. Hikaru's game has just started, and I was saying, I'm gonna move it over to the main stage as soon as Levi is here.
Yes, I do have control of the boards. Sorry, guys, but now we're here. What? Are they? What? Wait. Are they is Wesley going for a forced draw line? Wesley's going for a forced draw line.
I don't think that's a bad thing for Hikaru, because that means that the final game will have everything at stake, with Hikaru having the white pieces. I think this is actually not bad.
This is not bad at all, but these two have played this line already. I think this is the third time that they're playing into this.
Okay, so if they will go for this theoretical draw, that's fine, because it means that the final game, there's one more game, and that final game will feature Hikaru with the white pieces in a must-win situation. He will go all in. Literally all in. That's when you will see a crazy position. He will possibly sacrifice a pawn or two again just to sharpen the position, because this is a draw. They will now have, it's official. The third game was a really quick draw. Levi almost did not make it back. I had no idea this is how short it was gonna be.
Yeah, by the way, wow. I'm gonna go back to the other game. That was a draw. That was literally a game. Not only was that a draw, that was a draw that they've played before. They literally played that exact game out.
They did. In the preliminaries.
Yes.
Now
Crazy
this
stuff.
is why we're gonna go to the Magnus game, but I just wanted to emphasize the reason why this is not a bad thing is because at Super Grandmaster level, the colors kind of matter. That with the white pieces, usually you have a tiny bit of an advantage to take the initiative. So it's easier to play for a win at the Super Grandmaster level with the white pieces, usually. And Hikaru in the final game has the white pieces. Hikaru in the final game will go all in. It's going to be a crazy sharp position. He will make sure it's crazy sharp, and he's going to put everything on that one card.
Wow. Okay. Anna, I have an announcement to make.
All right.
We might have a special guest joining us.
Ooh.
Anna, you don't even know who it is, right?
Guest. What? Is it the special guest that we were talking about? I'm not gonna leak it, but I'm just curious if it's the person I'm thinking of, Levi.
It might be. It could be. It is not Bernie Sanders, but it's close, actually. That's a very close guess. Wow. That is an extremely close guess.
How soon is the special guest joining us?
Well, I offered to join now, so
okay.
we will see in a moment.
Amazing. I'm happy to see it happening, because I was teasing at the after party the day before. I was teasing everyone that we have a surprise for you guys, because I thought we were gonna have the surprise yesterday, but it's happening now. It's happening now.
Well, it'll happen whenever the Zoom link gets clicked, and I will see that,
Sure. You let me
So-
know if I need to switch my camera or anything.
No.
when
It'll be
the
all
guest
good because we
joins.
have a three camera overlay. But no, it's gonna be great. It's
Okay.
gonna be great. It's good stuff, guys. Good stuff. So just let's focus on what's going on here on the big screen. F6. It's kind of a cool move. Sad story about bishops in chess. These two bishops on b2 and b1, despite being completely adjacent to each other, they don't know that the other exists.
Yeah, they can never meet.
That's kind of... Damn, so close but so far. They just literally don't know that the other one is even there. They don't interact in the slightest. Now, if Nepo plays c3, that bishop is stuck, but the bishop on b1 is very nice. So then, is that what Nepo's gonna do? Is he gonna play c3? Not right now, because the queen's...
Yeah, maybe he will want to try to do that after he moves the queen. So moving the queen away of the trade and then trying to push c3. But the a3 pawn will always be hanging too. So the idea would be to keep the queens on the board because you want to try to checkmate the king on g8. That's why you shouldn't really trade queens here.
No, you shouldn't. If you want to have any attacking chances, you should definitely not trade the queens. Also, Nepo's pawn structure is, not pretty. That 3-on-2 on the queen side, those pawns are just weak. He doesn't want another endgame versus Magnus. As I fix my glasses. Special guest is actually Gotham without glasses. It's like a different person.
Wow.
Yeah, me.
What a surprise. What a surprise, guys. What do you think? Was it worth the wait? Was it worth the wait for this surprise?
No. It's I'm just trying to see if the guest is no?
Joining us. Hopefully joining us soon.
Elijah Wood emerges. Yeah, I guess it depends whether or not I have the glasses. So queen g3 in this position threatens checkmate. What's wrong with queen g3? Is it just g6?
I would assume so. I would assume you need to prevent checkmating one threatened on g7, and the only way is g6.
Yes,
Now, can we just try to see what happens if we are keen on giving that checkmate and go back to the h5 to then play queen h6? Queen h4, queen h6, or queen g5, queen h6? What is the best way for black to prevent it?
Yeah, some way to not trade the queen at all. Some way to not, Okay, it's gonna be a few minutes. That's what I was just informed. It's in a few minutes.
Sure.
Got my eye on Zoom. And we'll you know, we could pause Sham till then, or is it Mike Tyson before his fight tonight? It is not Mike Tyson before his fight tonight, but yeah.
If it's a few minutes, I'm gonna take that chance to go to the bathroom too, if that's all right.
Yes, please do.
I'll be
please
back
do.
in a moment.
All right, chat. Substitute teacher Gotham is here, so you know what, you remember what we all did when we had a substitute teacher. How rowdy in class were we? God, there is no worse job in the world, at least in the United States, than being a substitute teacher. Cause like, man, I mean, maybe in Europe we're all nicer to the teachers, but man, those were the best days when you walk into class. There was two really fun things about being in school in NA. Getting your class like the week before school started to find out who was in your classes, and number two, the days you would walk into a class and your teacher wouldn't be there. You'd be like, or you would see the big TV. Remember the TV they used to wheel into the classroom? It was gonna be a good day. That's how you knew it was gonna be a damn good day. Oh man. Those were the days. The VCR players. Europe is like, we've had smart boards for 20 years. We invest in our education. Okay, EU. I see you, EU. Don't have to make me feel guilty, EU. We got, not even, Europe was the same? Oh, okay, got it. We'll ask Anna. I think Anna's like 3 or 4 years older than me. So I wonder if there's any, because 3 or 4 years, like I'm born in 1995, December 95. Birthday's in a week, turning 25. But if you go 4 or 5 years, like to born in 2000, like totally different. Absolutely. I mean, it's just It's like totally different. What's wrong with knight g5? Nothing. You're just not gonna checkmate. I'm gonna take your queen before you're able to do that. Nepo does go for this, and this was my suggestion, and the engine hates it. Wow! Nepo goes here, 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 and wants to go checkmate Mr. Magnus. Okay. Okay. Fair. I mean, checkmating Magnus is... I mean, I guess that makes sense, yes. Okay, sure. But he's... Wow, I'm just a Bill. Yeah, I remember watching that, and I don't even know what grade I was in. On Capitol Hill. Okay. Apparently you have to go queen e6, counterpinning, and then when the queen arrives on h6, you play bishop takes f6. I think that's the point. But Magnus sacks a rook. Whoa. Magnus sacrifices a rook and takes on f6. So now he's guaranteed he's not getting mated. Nepo says hello. Nepo says hello. So I think taking here is bad. It's a free pawn, but what it does is it completely shatters your coordination. I think black can go b4. I think that's the good thing about the position here. It's a Nepo move. I think it's a Nepo move is what it is. Hikaru's game has not yet started.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
I was worried I'm gonna miss a special guest.
No. You are just in time. You are just in time. In fact, Mr. Special Guest has arrived.
Has the special guest arrived?
Yes. Special guest has arrived. I will get Mr. Special Guest here for us. 1 second. I just have to transfer the scoreboard over to the other overlay.
Sure. Let's see how many of you have guessed who is the special guest of today.
All right. I'm clicking admit. I hope it's the right name. Hello.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Anish.
Thank you so much for joining. Anish, you are live on the GMHikaru channel. Thank you for joining us.
Oh my god, what have I done? What have I done? They didn't tell me it was GMHikaru channel. I thought I'm gonna join Levi on his, on his modest,
Anish, is there a way you can turn your microphone a little lower?
You just don't want to hear me, or it's
no, it's
loud?
just it's very loud. That's all. And okay. Anna's is very quiet. No, we want to hear you. We want to hear you very much.
Okay, no, it's okay. It's okay.
I told chat they thought Bernie Sanders was coming. I told them it's kind of like Bernie Sanders, almost Bernie Sanders. So
there's gonna be a lot of burns in here. So yeah. No.
So let's get us all cropped. Okay.
I can move Levi if I'm good here. I can adjust to what I see on your screen.
No. It's perfect. It's perfect.
How is the Warlord doing, guys? The Warlord.
You tell us. What are your impressions of the game? Are you watching?
Guys, very important to not lose lost positions, because you might get a chance in the end, and then it will be very important, yeah, potentially. So I think good news for the Lord so far, but now he has to deliver.
Now your volume is too low.
Okay.
We couldn't hear the wise words properly.
Seriously, can you stop trolling me? I'm not your chat here, yeah? You shouldn't be trolling me. I'm,
actually, No, they're it's not like the semi streams, They say muted, but...
Yeah.
No, you're actually, now you're too quiet. I don't know what to do. What do we do?
Yeah, so how is it? How am I now? Is it good now?
That sounds better.
Oh, I have this stupid thing on Zoom. It's like automatically adjusting my volume. I should probably remove it,
Oh, yeah, if you could untick that should solve the situation.
Yeah. I'll put it on maximum. How's it now? Is it good now?
Okay, now it's a little loud again.
Poor Anish, he joins us and
do you want to hear me or you don't want to hear me? Tell me, which one is it?
It was really good before you did that, actually. It was perfect.
So is it good now?
Yes. I think so.
Okay.
So Anish,
you were saying something very important. Yes, if you could repeat it, because probably it was too low at that point.
No,
the volume.
Nothing important. I just said
Warlord.
some Warlord good, blah blah, everything good. Nothing important. Only good stuff about Hikaru, guys. A lot of love. So good. Hikaru Warlord needs to deliver, guys. Chat is waiting. Monka S, guys. Monka S.
You familiar with the other ones too, or you still learning those?
Oh, I know. I mean, I know Sag and Pepe Hands, and what we don't want to see today, of course, is molding, because we don't want to see any molding today, chat.
Yes.
We don't want to see any molding.
How have I never realized that you kind of sound like XQC? Like a little bit when you like start talking really fast. How have I not?
I think it's a mix of accent, chat. I think it's a mix of different accents. Chat, I think chat. No, chat. Why are you laughing at me, chat? No,
this is great.
But chat, no. But what's wrong with you, chat? No, no. But sometimes American, sometimes it's French. It's just confusing. It's mixed up. And with me, the same. Sometimes Russian, sometimes Dutch, and just mix it.
Oh, this is good. This is
It's content, guys. Clip it and ship it, guys. Get them likes. Get them. It's content.
Anish,
Thanks. Thank you for tier 1 there. Thanks for the sub. Thanks. Thank you, Funky Panky 237. Thank you for 3 months. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Whew. Okay, man. I thought. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. No. Sorry. Okay. So what are we talking about here?
I was gonna ask you, when you're not playing, how much are you watching the games? What are you
It depends on the day. Really depends on the day. Depends on the event. Depends on like today I'm watching it a lot because I've been on all sorts of different streams. Professionally growing the game today, basically. But there are days when I'm like watching with half an eye. But like these events, of course, I watch all of the games because at the very least, from a professional point of view, like to follow all the latest developments, to see what they do, my opponents. So I watch all of the games.
Serious question. It seems like in this event there's a lot more Italians being played, right? I think it feels like there's been a lot less Spanish is more Italian. So what's going on?
Yeah, it's been like this for there are like, well, hard to say. I mean, now Jan and Magnus, they're playing second Spanish today.
Yeah,
so they are. Yeah. I think what you probably see mostly these days is that there are not so many discussions in the same variation because like people try to surprise each other a lot more. So I think they are switching. Sometimes Italian, sometimes Spanish. Sometimes they play D4, sometimes C4. Like that, they're moving around, trying to surprise because nowadays so much information is out there. All of these YouTube videos of you and Eric Rosen. I mean, everything is already analyzed. So
speaking of YouTube, our new call to action on the GMHikaru channel is that we need to get your YouTube to 95,000 subscribers. And until that does not happen, it's sub mode only. It's sub mode only. So guys, you better hurry up. You better hurry up supporting.
But Hikaru has so many subs that sub mode only is basically still huge, right?
It's still, yeah. I mean, but having
but
said that, I think
restricted.
Oh, the Warlord, guys! The Warlord began.
Yeah, and he's playing King's Indian.
Of course,
it's a must win.
The Lord's Indian. Lord's Indian. It's called also.
I'm gonna put up Carlson Nepo. Wait, no, this is game 4. Game 3. I saw your tweet yesterday. It was very funny. I mean, all of them are. But this one was a response to the Norwegian journalist.
But this guy, I mean, he's a nice guy, but he should just cut the crap. Yeah, I mean, he's a nice guy, but just, I mean, bro, yeah, I mean, please, I mean, just come on, man. I mean, come on. Like, oh, it's unbelievable. Magnus not having his best day and still he wins. I mean, bro, he got lucky in 4 games out of 4. Yeah, just get over it. I mean, come on. Unbelievable, just, oh.
I'm glad we can do like a live broadcast therapy session here. I feel like, yeah. Wait, I'm gonna go check something actually.
Who's getting the therapy, me or Hikaru's chat?
I think everybody. I think we all feel the same way. I was gonna check in reference to what I was talking about. It was he tweeted yesterday when Nepo hung the piece in the opening. He was like, "Magnus is unbelievable. Who can stop him? Hikaru, not a chance." And Anish just responded, "Bro, he hung a piece."
Yeah, no, I mean,
he was he hung a piece in one move. It's not that serious.
No need to get like all overexcited. Like, the guy gets all overexcited every time like there's something happening. Oh, by the way, this was my game against Wesley. This is not very good for black because the knight on e7 is quite bad. We had the same opening. Hikaru prepared. No, Warlord prepared, studying the right games. Well done, Warlord.
So he studied your game. Tell us about what he studied. What can we?
Which game?
It was my game with Wesley from this tournament, from the qualification stage. And we played the same variation, and actually this position, the symmetric, is somewhat symmetric, but the knight on e7 is quite bad. Yeah, and basically you sort of want to play c6 to control the d5 square with the pawn. But then if you do play c6, then this knight on a7 becomes even worse because it has nowhere to go. Like even if I play e4, which is very often the mistake in these structures with white, e2, e4, you weaken the d4 square, but you restrict this e7 knight, so it doesn't have any squares to go. No f5, no d5, no c6. So yeah, potentially like it's not a good square for the knight here. So I think white is slightly better. White is just slightly better here.
By the way, the other game is officially a draw in a very funny final position with a repetition of moves.
You follow other games too, yeah, on this channel?
Yeah.
Or just the warlord.
It's a lot easier when there's only 2 matches because we have a small board and a big board, and that's just what we do. We try to follow your games too. Chat always wants you on the small board, you should know. So
on the small board, oh, that's so cute.
Which means you are second next to Hikaru, because we only have one other board, and mostly the chat wanted you to be on that board.
That's very nice. That's very nice. That's very nice.
Yeah, even if it's like
we were sad.
Maybe Anna, maybe it's like, you know, when they say that like this pretty girl in the class, she likes to have this ugly girlfriend, so that she looks like. Is it like the same? Like Hikaru, big board, I'm on the small board. Like, look at this warlord, how great he plays compared to this guy.
No, I don't think that was his logic. Levi, go ahead, and I'm gonna tell Anish later what I think the chat wanted to say.
Anish, you have to remember. Well, actually, Anna's in Europe too. So, listen, I'm from the States. Okay, we get canceled for much less than that. So I'm just gonna distance myself from that statement preemptively.
American Pie, I watched all of them. I mean, it's fine. These jokes
that was like 20 years ago, man. We've changed.
Oh no.
Dude, we've changed in the States. We can't make we won't make a movie like that ever again, man. Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay.
The thing is,
no, but
I
just said ugly girlfriend.
Say it.
No?
Don't say it again.
No, but it's imaginary ugly girlfriend of imaginary girl Hikaru. It's not even real. I mean, I am the ugly girlfriend.
I think it's okay because Anish said it about his games and his play. So I think if you say it about yourself, that's okay. If you say it about someone else, that's a different scenario. But I was gonna say you were on the other board because this community absolutely loves you, and this community was rooting for you so bad against Magnus, and you had it. You had your chance. Can you tell us?
Pepe hands in the end, yeah. Pepe hands.
Oh man.
Can you tell us how it was from your perspective, and what do you think went wrong? Because we really thought that you had it.
I like the biggest chance I had was at the start, and then my second chance was to, you know, once I already didn't win it, I should have kind of kept my how to say, like, legs together and just stood very tight. And I did lose one game, and that was like a blow, because then it was already hard to come back, and I had some good chances, but he was very defensive and very solid. It was kind of hard to crack. So I think I either had to win the first game, that was step one that I should have done, and step two was, if I already don't win it, then at least don't lose, and like, okay, then at least follow with the, you know, with the tight match, and just keep playing very defensive chess, both of us, and just wait for the tie breaks. But I lost one game there in a very uncalled for fashion. So yeah, that was there.
Can I? Well, if I ask you a question about on a serious note about like Twitter banter, will you answer seriously?
Maybe.
Okay, so when he tweeted that he was playing Nepo, when he tweets, you know, that guy isn't playing today, is that just silly? Like, you don't trash talk after you win, right?
Yeah, but it could be his manager. You never know, because sometimes he, I think there are these people who write, yeah, like let's say Barack Obama, yeah, when he writes a tweet and it's from his team or whatever, it's just, and then if it's from him, it's written like B or something in the end, yeah. Or like there are, and with Magnus, I think and there are some accounts like that are run only by the manager. Like there is and it's normal, yeah. I mean, like I once got my tweet got liked by, I think, by Armin van Buuren, you know, the famous DJ Armin van Buuren. I guess you know in States as well, right?
Yeah.
Huge, yeah. So I was completely excited. I was like, whoa, Armin van Buuren, you know, he liked my tweet, and then I looked at his account and who he liked, and I just thought, okay, he is the team managing his account, so he didn't really see my tweet and like it. But with Magnus, like it's like one or the other. So sometimes it's really him, like. You sometimes see, yeah, like, okay, it's like such a bad joke, it can only be Magnus, it cannot be a manager. And sometimes it's simply like, hey, here is, you know, Play Magnus store, go buy, you know, 30% off, and okay, you know, that's for sure manager. And sometimes there is these tweets like, which are like the joke is bad, but it's not that bad. So you don't know. So I'm not sure if it was Magnus or his manager, but I think it's okay.
Okay.
I thought your response was spot on though, because both Lavi and I thought that was a bit below belt to tweet after that match.
No,
and
but
you
me,
responded
I'm just farming
you
the likes. I'm just farming likes. I mean,
you
there's nothing-
responded in a very wholesome way. I think that is definitely respectable that you took it
No,
so
thank you.
so well.
Anish, one more thing that we uncovered in all of this coverage, like we have you know, a lot of good memes, and we uncovered the very legendary. Okay, I will say a few words and this press conference will be over. I am not kind of guy you can ironic.
Oh yeah, this one came back, yeah.
We watched it on the show.
You can go outside
this event,
if you want,
yes.
yeah.
So what's the status now? Have you resolved your differences, or are you
but
still
there was
not a
never
kind...
there was never a big deal. I mean, it was just, I think it was like heat of the moment type of thing. It was there is a long story behind it. Basically, it was a very frustrating game for both of us because like at some point, like the whole game was like had a lot of stages. So the opening was bad for me. Then at some point I was completely winning. Then he started to really shake his head and swear during the game, like right in front of me, which was very annoying. It became insanely annoying the moment I messed up, as I messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Then after I messed, there were so many things happening, and in the end I think it ended in a draw. But and after all that they came to the press conference, so like it was sort of a heat of the moment thing. I don't think it was ever a big deal actually. And also I mean we speak actually, we spoke a few times as well, and we never even really it was never a big deal, to be honest. So it was, and also nothing really bad happened there, right? I mean, you know, at the end, I mean, we both went outside and we followed our own routes to the hotel, and we never, you know.
Oh, I thought there was a different. Yeah,
No,
we went outside and
it had that story had a happy end pretty much. So, yeah.
Oh.
The community certainly liked it, and it keeps being quoted ever since. So,
But I mean,
you can't ironic me.
This ironic became a thing, yeah. So,
Yes.
by the way, Badu, he has also a channel, you know, yeah. He streams some really good stuff. I mean, he's not discovered very much yet, but he's analyzing this classical game. So he has this, like, there's Badur, yeah. He, of course, obviously he has a horrible webcam, not like Levi. Obviously he has horrible webcam, and he has this book, this book that is like about to break because it's like it's written like in 1948 or whatever, and it's published like in 1930s even. It's like so old, and he's holding it like this, and he says, "But Vinnik thinks e4 was mistake," and he puts in lichess, you know, e4, c5. But Vinnik says this big mistake, knight f3, knight f6. Yes, I think it was not so bad, but okay. Botvinnik said it's mistake, and you know, so he basically reads out these classical games like of Botvinnik and like Capablanca and like all these people, you know, much before Warlord Hikaru made his first steps on this earth. And that's what he does. He basically streams like mostly that. It's quite something. I find it from my point of view, it's like really pretty epic. But I'm not sure all the chat members here would find it equally entertaining.
How much classical game study have you done?
Yeah, actually, not like you know, like day in day out, but I have come across most of it actually, one way or the other. Like here, I read some bits in this book, some bits in that book. Some bits I saw in this lecture, some in that, you know, and like bit by bit, I've seen most of it, but never like a proper study from A to Z. Yeah, that not.
I feel like we should also cover the games. I feel like
I was gonna say we have to jump back to see what is
the Warlord is
F5.
trying his best, yeah. So you have to.
Tell us about what's going on in the game right now.
Yeah, well, it's really hard to say. So he's got the bishop pair, but I do really like that Wesley got this f5 e4 in. Like the structure is sort of good for him then. We still have this knight on
c5.
e7, but...
So it doesn't retreat the bishop.
No, c5 is... But I will just protect, yeah, like queen c8, I get... Oh, knight a4. Okay, that's nice. But the bar is not that thrilled. Although it looks very nice, this move knight a4. But the bar is not too thrilled.
Why do you think the bar is not too thrilled?
Okay,
what
rook f6 could be the defense. Rook f6 could be the defense, the simplest. Just protect the knight, knight b6, move the queen, and then yeah. But then I drop the bishop. No, that looks actually really nice for white. Maybe knight d5. Can I play knight d5? Knight d5, chat.
After knight a5, knight d5.
What am I missing? What am I missing?
Knight d5. Yeah, I think that's
but
the
then
way
takes
to go.
takes. No, but then takes. Knight b6, queen c6. Bishop
Yeah,
a3.
this looks nice.
Bishop a3 and... Oh, no. You can't play queen b5. Okay, he's played it, so we're probably gonna get all of that, right? That seems... Oops. What am I doing? Genius arrow drawer over here. Something like this.
Have you ever, because you know you have like such huge viewership on this channel, yeah? I mean, most of the time, in general, always. Have you ever done like a survey on the average chess strength of the viewer?
We did. It's recently, like, obviously as it's booming, there's a lot more like newer players.
Yeah, so it the average rating must be reasonably, well, relatively low, right?
1100, 1000
1100.
even. Yeah, more than half the chat said that they were below 800 the last time that we did the poll. So
Do you adjust your commentary accordingly, let's say, or how do you?
I have no level of I always low level commentator.
Oh,
so.
okay.
Yeah, I mean,
You should have seen what we tweeted earlier. We had a clip of Levy basically using one syllable sounds as commentary. Just
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, I saw some tweeting. Yes.
Wow. Oh, wow.
yes. My goal is just to tweet things during the show that get like 3 times as many likes as Agadmator, and then I'm happy. And that's that's just generally how I'm doing my content. So.
Yeah, I understand. Each of us has our own role models. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, we have like, you know, fake. I was impressed that he follows you, Magnus, on Twitter. I for some reason thought he wouldn't.
I tell you, he has a manager. I think his manager followed. Like his manager followed me probably. No, but he has to. Yeah, he has to see. I mean, it's you have to. Yeah. Now, by the way, the position is. I am very unhappy for Hikaru. Very unhappy. You know why I'm unhappy? Because either he will have something concrete now on the to do with the d5 pawn falling, in which case the bar would say that he is doing really well.
Yeah.
But if nothing is falling, then he's given up a huge bishop on g2. His king is extremely weak. Black has tremendous control over the center. So like all the long-term factors are like heavily in Black's favor. So Hikaru really has to do something very concrete, very strong right now, and the bar doesn't really say that there is something winning, so I don't really see it either. Maybe knight b6, yeah, attack the pawn, queen c6, maybe attack the pawn with the rook again, but I don't know. Yeah, long term just very worrying. Like, let's say if it was black to move in this position, it would be just winning for black probably. Yeah, he attacks the pawn exactly like this, yeah, but still, the king is so weak.
Yeah, rook d1. Okay, but now what? Is black just gonna push?
Yeah, he has to. Yeah, push is b5 though. Then queen e8. Yeah. Yeah, if you push, I'll go b5. Actually, I don't know what black is gonna do now. Yeah, now actually I don't know what black is gonna do. I'm curious. You might want to sacrifice the pawn, because if you push it, then I have this b5. And the knight is pinned, yeah? So that is a problem. The knight wants to jump at some point, but it's pinned.
Also, will Wesley play knight c7?
Tell me, if somebody writes, my streamer Sag, 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 is it supposed to look different than how it is on my screen? And when somebody writes Pog O Anish stop spoiling, Pog O Anish stop spoiling, Pog O Anish stop spoiling.
Anish, you don't have BTTV. You're missing
No,
BTTV.
I should have it, right?
Yes. Then you
And
will
then
see
what
all
do I
these
see then?
beautiful-
Is it beautiful then?
You'll see lots of frogs, and then you will see a guy with his eyebrows raised, and another guy with a giant O for a mouth.
Is it easy to switch it on, or is it like a whole procedure that's like too late?
You just get an extension, and then you turn it on, and then you go back to Twitch. So.
Nice. Is it free or not?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's free,
it's
of course.
free.
You think people in chat have money? Come on. You think we have money? No one has money.
Well, thank you for 5 months. I mean, I hear all the time, yeah. So I think
It's like, dude, we set aside a little bit here and there.
for sure.
No, of course it's free. Nobody would use
BTTV.
BTTV if it wasn't free.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm sure you put a price tag to it. People will, Okay, let me download it for Edge right now because I want to see this.
The full
stuff.
experience. You want
I
to see
wanna
the
see
full
that. I mean, I wanna
GMHikaru
see it.
experience.
Yeah.
We also have the Pet the Hikaru and the Hikaru Jam that you will, after the extension, you will see those as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to. There's a setting. It's like, okay, well, we're teaching. This is good stuff.
Oh my God.
Did it work?
Oh, it's beautiful.
You see it all?
Oh my God.
A whole new world.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Can you see the ones that are moving? Can you see the GIF ones?
Everything.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Yeah, why do you stream on YouTube, man? I mean, it's so much better here. We have.
But there is only so much of this I can handle.
It would be
I mean,
information
as my daily doses, I think it would be a bit too much. But wow, wow. Oh my god, and they're moving.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's so weird. Wow. Wow.
Wesley blundered, by the way. He played knight g5, so he's going for counterplay. He's not going. Actually, it's apparently like a very huge mistake. Oh my god! But do you see the top engine move, Anna?
The top engine move is king to g2 to step into the long diagonal. Sure.
Not happening. Not happening, chat. He'll take rook d5, I think.
That's the second best move of the
How,
engine.
rook d5 looks good, no? Rook d5 is good or not?
Yeah, and the difference is not much. It's of course not a very
Yeah.
deep engine analysis, but 1.67 is king g2 and 152 is rook takes d5.
No, you'll
so
take
let's
either.
just
It
go
looks
for the
very good.
human move.
Yeah. What was the move instead of knight g5? I'm curious. What was the right move? Was it
I
d4 after all?
Knight
It was knight c7.
Knight c7. Yeah, knight c7. I thought about it. Yeah, but see, it's so hard because the knight you want to
Yeah.
jump. You want to jump in. You want to exploit that weak king.
Hikaru played h4.
Yeah, guys, I have to be honest. Yeah, knight g5, like you say, like it is a mistake according to computer. Yeah, but like in terms of human play, the king is weak and the knight comes in. So there was always compensation in terms of human judgment. There was always compensation for black. So I'm not surprised that Hikaru. Hikaru is trying to be very clever. Yeah, he's trying to send the knight back and only then take the pawn. And if I guess the knight should jump in, knight f3 check, I assume, king g2, and then Hikaru is hoping that the knight is hanging. But I'm not sure if it is king h8 or.
Okay. So
Oh,
now
94. Okay. And now he'll take on d5. Well, you know, Hikaru is very good at this stuff. Like he is not impressed by ghosts. Yeah, like let's say many people, they would be like, there are two types of chess players. And there are those who are like, they see the weak king and the weak squares around it, and they are like, they feel concerned about it, you know? Like these long-term factors, they concern them. Like they don't see what exactly, because there is nothing, but it just bothers them. They're like, okay, something's probably, some nasty shit's gonna happen. And there are those like Hikaru, who just think, okay, pawn is hanging, I'm gonna grab it. What do you have? You have nothing. I'm just gonna grab the pawn. And he will say, yeah, okay, king of course is weak, but nobody's attacking it. So I think for him, this position really suits very well. I'm quite optimistic actually now. Quite optimistic.
Anish, can you do your best Hikaru impression on what do we do when we get 10 gifted subs from Zero Divisor and it's a hype train going on? Hype train number 2.
Zero Divisor KSA.
Whoa, Zero Divisor KSA, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Oh yeah, thank you. Okay.
We are on level 5 hype train already. Thank you so much, everyone. And Anish, that was brilliant.
Yeah, I just said thank you for 10 gifted subs. Yeah, I mean, okay, somebody has to say it. Thanks, Super Slick, for the primes. Thanks, Killer, from the prime. Rio Pro for the prime. Thanks for the prime. Okay, chat, you want to play some bullet? You want me to play some bullet, or should I play Wesley? Should I play Wesley, or do you want me to play some bullet?
Well, the key is always there's also Danya. You have to.
Thanks,
throw
the
the
Naxa
Danya
for the prime. Thanks, Rian, for the prime. Thank you, Levi, for your comment. Thanks, Matt Bronx, for the prime.
I'm honored.
Whoa, thanks for the 3 months foresight. Pat the giraffe. Pat the giraffe. Thanks for 2 months. Oh, Pat the giraffe. Hilarious. Yeah.
Okay.
There's some really creative
Wait,
usernames.
guys.
In terms of the position, are we doing well after b5 or not? What is going on?
You guys can give subs to the Hikaru channel. Get your name read out by Anish. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know if he's.
Oh, Donktank has just done that. I think that deserves another shout out. And then we get back to the position.
So b5 apparently from Hikaru wasn't the way to go as far as.
Wow, strange. Because he's trying to force the endgame. b5, queen c5, queen e6. Wow, that's what he missed. Oh, you know,
Anish,
I got a tier one. I got a tier one, guys. Thanks for
You
the
just
gift
got
tier
the
one.
gifted sub to
got a
Hikaru
gifted
channel.
sub.
Thank you.
Thank
It's Ryuko for gifting a sub to
Oh my
Anish.
god, he blundered something. He blundered.
Oh no. What is it that he's missing here after the trade?
I think rook d8 maybe after the trade is what he's probably missing, the intermezzo.
Oh. How bad is it?
Take and rook d8, right?
in terms of
hitting the
practical
juicer,
chances-
hitting the juicer, guys. Hitting the juicer on d5.
Can you? You can't. Yeah, you can't. Whoa! I was just about to say if you can play that.
c6. Yeah, I thought about c6, but I think rook takes, then cb and rook a1. Oh, knight d6, rook a8, knight. Oh, I just blundered. I'm so bad at chess, chat. I'm so bad at chess. I just blundered. I think I just blundered. Oh, chat. I'm so bad at chess.
So
No,
what is
guys,
there? Sorry.
he blundered. Rook takes d5. Rook takes d5.
Uh huh.
C takes b7.
Uh huh.
Rook d8.
Uh huh.
Rook a1.
Uh-huh.
Knight d6. Rook a8. And knight takes b7 protects the d8 rook. And that's why I'm so bad at chess, chat.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
how about this? How about rook d5,
Yeah.
bishop a3?
Yeah, but bishop a3, like, it's really okay. I see.
It's the only
cool,
move
it's cool,
apparently,
it's
but
cool,
yeah,
it's cool. Wow, bishop a3 is cool. It's very deep, yeah.
I didn't find it, but apparently that's why this isn't.
That's why
Complete.
it's not lost. Actually, it could actually be even tricky for black after bishop a3. But I think the warlord was not planning bishop a3. Warlord thought cb is good, but now he might find bishop a3.
He's got 9 minutes to find it, so we are currently a piece down, but Levy is saying that the engine suggests bishop a3 as the best possible move here for white.
So you play like c7 and b6, right? And you just
Oh, I see 5-head Levy with BTTV, so it's good stuff. Thanks for the prime, Juggernaut. Thanks for the prime.
Anish, how's did we get Anish to 95k on YouTube chat? What's
I
up?
sure hope so.
Let's see. Else Pepe hands, yeah?
At what number are you right now, Anish?
Let me refresh. 94.4. 94.4.
Guys,
Hey chat.
Hey, chat, go head over, yeah? Head over.
Anish Giri on YouTube. We needed to hit 95 ASAP. And hopefully that will help Hikaru too, because we need another miracle. And this is the final game. So this is the thing. In the previous games, we needed a miracle to make a comeback. It was an absolute miracle, literally, that he escaped from 2 losing positions at the start of today's match. But now this is the final rapid game. And if it's a draw, it's the end of the tournament for Hikaru. So we need not just a miracle so that this piece down is not losing, but that he somehow wins. A mouse slip by Wesley? What is it that we need?
Oh, no! He played CB. But there is nothing after rook d8 and knight d6, knight b7.
Oh my gosh.
He just didn't see bishop. No, but he blundered this knight b7 thing, and he just didn't see bishop a3. He couldn't. He had to switch to plan B, but he didn't find the plan B. Oh, okay. That's. Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, knight d6, rook a8, and then knight b7 holds.
Anish, you gained over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube within less than a minute. So let's hope that Hikaru will have the same luck here, the same miracle.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. So see, I think I should probably leave before, like, you know, angry daddy comes home to his channel. He's like, he'll of course start, you know, spitting fire in all directions, trying to find who to blame for his loss. And of course, I'll be the first one on his way. He'll be like, this guy's here. This guy's here. What the hell is he doing? You know? Oh, wait, what? Oh, knight b7 simply. Oh, okay, no, it's over, guys. It's over. Oh, it's
Yeah,
over.
the bishop up. Wesley offered a draw
Yeah. No.
in the
Pepe hands.
game. Yeah.
And it's accepted.
Well then, Anish, thank you for the short-lived experience.
Guys, I'm
You
sorry.
came-
I was really hoping. You know, I'm gonna come here. Hikaru is going to, of course, gonna win, and then I'm gonna be like, you know, all epic, like his lucky charm or whatever. And you all will love me and subscribe me on YouTube and all that. But it's not happening, so I'm really sorry.
You've got
for
the
that.
subscribers. But now you have to put out good stuff.
95.8, almost 96k. Thank you guys. Keep
Oh, wow,
supporting
thank you.
Anish's channel. And
Thank
Anish,
you,
we
that's
want
very
you
kind.
back. We want you back. I think it was working, but maybe we needed you from the start of the show. Next time we will invite you earlier.
Probably. We have to fine tune it a little bit. But yeah, wow. Wesley, by the way, very, very good online player, especially rapid. Yeah, I mean, Hikaru would of course toss him around in blitz and bullet, but rapid is Wesley is just tremendous.
That's how we felt as well. Well, thanks for dropping by. Hopefully we have you on. I mean, hopefully, in your case, you don't want to be on because you want to be in the finals. So we hope to have you on. You hope to make it to the finals.
Yeah, okay, one or the other. you know, it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just
Thank you.
wanted to say one more time what I said on an earlier show here on the GMHikaru channel, that on my birthday, I had a sub battle against Samurai Rana. He had a top board that was supposed to be above 2200, and then Vidit Gujarati showed up. I was panicking, but I DM'd Anish on Instagram if he could jump in that moment and play on my top board. He said yes, and he crushed with it with the black pieces. Thank you for the best birthday present ever,
just
Anish.
to make it clear, before I get spammed in my Instagram DMs, I generally don't reply to my Instagram DMs, so please don't spam them.
Yeah, I also don't respond. So it's just, you know, we know each other. Anish's wife is one of my best friends, so we do have that connection. Don't spam, don't DM us. But thank you so much, Anish, for the present.
No, thank you. No, okay, guys, good luck in future events. Yeah, also.
See you, Anish. Thanks for hanging with us.
Thank you.
Well, Anna. Anish
Amazing
brings,
guess, but I wish we had him earlier. Maybe it would have changed the result, a turn of events, but this hasn't been the strategy we hoped for. But at the same time, as you guys said, Wesley played really well. He only made mistakes when he had a really winning position and he dropped back to equal. So he wasn't making mistakes that would turn the tables against him. Yes, he drew from winning positions. He missed the perpetual in both of the first two games, but he never made a big blunder that would give a winning advantage to Hikaru. It felt like we never really had a chance for the full point. It's just a very solid, very stable Wesley So that showed up in this semifinals.
Most important thing, guys, is you know, so many of you are being supportive and amazing. Most important thing is not to backseat. Oh, and Hikaru's actually already here. We swap out one with the super GMs for each other.
Yes, we are very lucky. I'm gonna turn off my camera then.
Hey, Hikaru.
Hey, how's it going, you guys?
Hello.
Well, impressions of the match. I watched their interview of you yesterday. I want to ask nothing that they asked, so.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, first of all, credit to Wesley. I thought he played pretty well overall. I mean, his conversion wasn't smooth, shall we say. I mean, the match, there was more drama than I think there should have been, because his first game today, for example, was just awful, to put it mildly. So I thought Wesley wasn't great in terms of conversion, but certainly played well throughout the match. And I mean, I just, you know, that one game yesterday unfortunately cost me. Today was just, yeah, the first game was weird. Second game was even weirder. Second game is probably where I had the best chances objectively to try and turn everything around and win the match. But, you know, it got very messy, and then I blundered, and then he started blundering, and then the whole thing was just very, very strange. But yeah, then this fourth game, I mean, I guess it's probably nothing, but I actually just straight up blundered. I forgot that that he could just bring his knight back and take the pawn for some reason. It didn't occur to me. So that kind of abruptly ended the fourth game when I didn't have to. But yeah, this second game was crazy because I thought it was winning, and apparently it's not. Like, it felt winning, but then I couldn't find a way, and I guess computers say it's always a draw, right?
Yeah, the ending, the queen and knight, there was always some ridiculous repetition. There were moments he poked his king out. We were thinking there's a mate, but there just isn't.
Well, I mean, I was looking for a puzzle rush, and when the queen was on b2, I think it was, I was looking for a knight e6, somehow get the king on a dark square and check and skewer the king and the queen. Thank you to Zero Divisor, by the way. Thank you for the I think that's 50 gifted subs. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, I see 70 at this stage. Thank you
Oh, it's
so
70.
much.
I didn't see the number. Sorry.
Wow.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I didn't see the number. But yeah, so since you have the game up, can you go back to this critical position when Wesley blundered after knight d7, rook e6?
Yes.
No, what's insane here is that I wanted to play queen. Go back. It's at plus 1.5. Go back.
On queen takes b2, which position?
Just go back to the start after rook e6.
Rook e6. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, yeah, come watch his stream too. So this whole knight h3 position gets insane. I mean, he probably was winning multiple. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Through all this, yeah. I mean, for the average viewer, giving up the piece on f3 seems a little insane, but it's the most practical thing he can do, right? As long as you see you're not getting mated.
Yeah, but I mean, he missed the whole knight d7 idea. But what's insane about this is that I thought queen b8 was winning here. But then there's king g7.
Oh, you mean
queen f8, king h7, queen f7, king h8, and everybody's getting checkmated every which way.
So yeah, everybody was screaming for knight f6. They thought this is just force mate, but he has perpetual, huh? Like,
Yeah. So I check king h8, knight f6, and there's queen h4, king g2, queen g5, king f3, queen f5. So whenever I go g3, there's always g5, f5 with the pawn on h6 and the pawn on e6 holding the squares. And then if I go the other way, e3, e5, d3, there's queen c3, queen e5, and the pawn on b4 holds the other diagonal.
yeah. I was saying that the thing that decides this game is the b4 pawn. Like,
yeah, without the b4 pawn, yeah, it's winning. But yeah, so like it's just yeah, it's, I mean, just he checks that way. When I go over to the queen side, there's c3, e5, and it's all holding as well. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing it's holding, but I mean that whole game was weird because I definitely was better in the middle game, and then I completely messed it up. Wesley should have won then, and he didn't. I was actually very close to resigning after he played the move bishop b5, and then I'm just like, okay, I'll just make a couple more moves. And then like it got really wild. He got low on time and came a complete mess where I had some weird chances. But yeah, I mean, I think certainly, I mean, Wesley played well throughout the match, and you know that's how it goes sometimes. I mean, I wish I had maybe gotten more in the final game. I was trying to channel my inner Anish by playing his opening in the final game.
He did mention that. He popped in for a little bit.
Did you know we had him on the show?
I heard about it.
Game?
Yeah, I mean, I had already decided before I knew he was going to be on, but then once I heard he was on, it made my choice very obvious. I didn't even have to think about it.
Yeah, he was giving us some meta strats and just in general good banter. I have a question about Wesley's tendency to repeat moves in completely winning positions. Is that like to toy with emotions? Is that to gain some time? What is that?
Well, I mean, I think the thing is when he did it, he wanted to gain time, but then when I repeated right away, it didn't actually function in the way that he thought it would because I didn't start thinking. I just made my move instantly. So then it didn't serve a purpose. I think he was trying to gain a little bit of time. But yeah, I mean, I feel like when you lose a match, if you feel like you had a lot of chances, you know, there were many missed opportunities. It's one thing, like I'd probably be more unhappy, but really, I mean, I would say that unfortunately I didn't have that many opportunities. This one game yesterday really set the tone, and so it's hard to really be that upset because Wesley was just very solid, and I just didn't really have many opportunities. Whereas, like, say the match against Maxime, for example, say day 2 is different, and he's just very solid, and say we draw 4 games, I would have been very upset about that match because I missed at least 2 opportunities on the first day. So you know, it kind of depends how it goes. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Really, I think unfortunately my decision to switch it up in this Italian and not play what I had played for the last 5 months, I mean, unfortunately it cost me. So it's unfortunate, but it's not that big of a deal. And we'll, you know, there will be the major tournament, which actually matters more, I think, objectively, for the standings or something, which is coming up in December. So that's just have to play well in that match. That tournament.
I need to inform you, Hikaru, that obviously we'll still focus on this final game and the tournament, but while Anish was here, your community got him over 3,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. He's now at 96,000, and that's all thanks to your community.
Oh, nice. Awesome. That's great.
We totally didn't coerce them with sub-only mode. They voluntarily did it. They were like, I want to go see his content.
We have our ways, but they are following the right channel because Anish does a lot for chess as a sport, as an entertainment, as an education, media product. So growing the game overall is, Hikaru, your mission, and we are happy to see that Anish continues your path on YouTube.
No, it's great to see. I mean, to see Anish doing what he's doing, to see Vidit as well. I mean, both those guys, they are the kings of YouTube. So it's really nice to see there's so much support for chess, both on Twitch, but also on YouTube. So it's fantastic.
And he learned to use BTTV. He figured out. he was asking, what is going on? What are those words in the chat?
But not to sound controversial, but isn't that why everyone hasn't left Twitch for YouTube, because they don't have BTTV and FFZ on YouTube?
That's what I was saying, actually. During one of the shows. I was like, YouTube complains about spam. They're just jealous they don't have the emotes. I mean,
yeah. Sorry, I just had to say that. Yeah. So anyway, right. No, but it's really, I mean, just I think learning the culture is a large part of Twitch, and everyone knowing the memes, and then and so forth. It's just that's amazing to see.
He's learning. Our boy is learning, and he kept calling you the warlord. He's well educated. Before he showed up, he knew what he had to say. He was being a really good guest.
Yeah. So what's going on, Magnus? I assume I saw he lost the first game, but he won the second game, right?
Yep. So
Okay.
Nepo has to win this game with black.
They drew the third game?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, it looked like Magnus was better once he sacked the exchange a little bit that I saw.
Yeah, so this has been a weird match. Today was quite strange. Like Nepo won the first game easily. It felt like very unnecessarily lost the second game. So it's kind of like a usual Nepo match. I mean, just
Okay, yeah. So has the game started or not yet?
Yeah, it's there. It's in live chess.
Sorry. This is the position.
Yeah, Magnus is white.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, winning this, right?
I mean, Magnus is better to begin with, but I mean, there's nothing complicated in position. So this comes back to what I was saying yesterday, like when I played this Dutch against Wesley. So when you're in a situation where you have to win, whether it's white or black, like sort of the objectivity and what you're aiming for has to be a little bit different than it normally would be. So like in a normal game, a position like this, it's not great, but you see like white is only a little bit better. Black can probably draws without too much risk. The problem is when you're in a must-win situation, you need to win the game. And in a position like this, the chances of Magnus making a mistake or making a big error are close to nil just because it's an end game. So that's why like the evaluation, it doesn't matter as much. You just need positions that are complicated and messy where you can kind of go for broke, because it doesn't matter if you lose the game. I mean, that's the same as the draw. So it looks like Magnus is going to win this and he'll go to the final.
That's what
Maybe not win
surprised
this,
us
but he'll draw.
yesterday.
Yeah.
What you said, it's so important that because it's a match, that in the final game you had to go all in. Nepomniachtchi has to go all in. And yesterday in his fourth game, Nepomniachtchi with the white pieces in a must-win situation went into the Berlin, just the the main Berlin line. This is super simple and drawish. We didn't understand his strategy because, as you said, in that situation, a draw and a loss is the same.
Yeah, so I think there are two ways you approach it. Either you approach it where you just want something that's messy, it might be terrible, but the position is very unclear and complicated, or you try to play something really, really slow where your opponent kind of just has to sit and play precise moves. I mean, the problem with that strategy is that against Magnus in particular, he really likes playing slow positions. So even if he's slightly worse, he doesn't mind them. So I think from that standpoint, maybe it's a mistake. But I understand the approach by Jan at least.
Yeah, well, we were definitely perplexed because when we saw e4, okay, like e5 is normal. Also, Magnus playing the Berlin. That's kind of rare, isn't it? Like,
I mean, I feel like once he started having his adventures against me and they started going wrong in the tour final, maybe not the tour final, before the tour final, he really reverted back to it when he wanted to be very solid. So it's not surprising at all to me.
And one more question. I think we saw this a lot in the chat. I mean, I think I know the answer. I think chat should hear the answer. That third game against Wesley, because you can consider that as like one full game. Were you basically like, I draw this game with black, I try to beat him with white?
Right.
Like,
so this is also a good question. So yeah, in this third game against Wesley, the main reason I didn't go for broke is because I didn't feel like I was playing well. I had losing positions in the first two games, and I thought that in that situation, the fact that I wasn't playing very well, it made more sense to just take my chances with white in the final game, rather than do the 2-for-1 where like kind of go for broke with black. I just felt I wasn't playing well, so I figured, well, if I'm not playing well, do I really want to take my shot here with black, or would I rather take it with the white pieces? And I thought that it made more sense to take it with white.
I think that makes perfect sense, and we thought that was a really understandable strategy, putting everything on that one final card with the white pieces. We were so hoping it would work out, and Anish was explaining, the knight on e7 is not ideally placed, so that you are better. And
I think apparently at the end people are saying I could have played bishop a3 and made a draw, right?
Oh, that was crazy though. Yeah, exactly. Even with the piece down, bishop a3 was still fine.
Yeah.
wouldn't have
Yeah.
changed the situation of the match, unfortunately. But it's a really interesting position. How Bishop A3 was very strong.
Yeah, it's an absurd move. The point of it is like very cryptic too, but it cuts the knight from coming back.
Right, exactly.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah, but I mean, this isn't actually
no, it's not like you don't win or anything. I mean, you can hold it into a rook endgame. I think with best play, I think is what happens.
Yeah, I think the engine was saying that knight g5. That was the last moment where you had a chance. That knight g5 was not the best move for Wesley, and the,
Yeah, I
the
felt like
ridiculous move of the engine. Sorry, Hikaru, but I just wanted to say that their king g2 was one of the top moves of the engine after knight g5, stepping into the long diagonal.
Yeah.
I saw this, but I was concerned that he could play king h8 here actually.
Yeah, I think that's the main line. King g2, king h8, and rook takes d5. So
yeah, and then f4.
it was very unlikely. I think we were saying that after knight g5, rook takes d5 or b5 were the other two moves that were giving advantage to white.
Wait, no, wait. What did I see? I saw this was actually my original idea, but then I played this line because I miscalculated to the end. Like when I played h4, I saw this whole line basically to the end. That was my intention. There was something that I saw here. What did I see though? There was something that concerned me about this. Or is this just winning, really?
Well, the best line is honestly that I'm seeing right now is to go for all this.
It was like 94, right? Yeah,
well,
94.
And then it's the big trade followed by rook d8 and rook d1, I think, for black.
Okay, I mean, this is already a bit much, though, to see. I mean, again, this is one of these computer things. We're seeing queen c4, I think, is very, very difficult. Without queen c4, it's probably not great for white, right?
Just because it's such a subtle move and it actually prevents knight f6.
Is queen c4 the only move that's really good for white here? I bet it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, okay, again. Yeah, I mean, maybe if I have half an hour on the clock, I can find something like this. But when you're already like 10 minutes, I mean, it's queen c4. Like, yeah, I mean, this is why computers suck. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the other thing it starts calculating is b5. It's just really difficult because knight f6, right? Like you've pinned yourself, so
yeah.
You're constantly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like because there was this game against Maxime. There's another perfect example where like this Grunfeld game where there's this knight f4 move and the computer just goes queen d2, rook e2, queen c3, like this very light little finesse with the queen, and it's just, I mean, it's just in a slow game maybe you can at least think of the idea, but in a rapid game or a blitz game, I think it's borderline impossible to find it.
It looks okay. Yeah. It's slowly moving to.
Yeah, I mean this is over because how does Jan win this? I mean, not only is he down a pawn, but I just mean they're two bishops. Like, it's just impossible for him to win this game.
I was going to check something real quick. What would you expect from a Magnus versus Wesley final? How do you feel like they match up stylistically?
I mean, I think it's a very bad matchup for Wesley from the standpoint that I think Wesley likes to play very positional, play for small advantages. And Magnus, I mean, by far and away is one of the people, I mean, he's just the best at defending very slightly worse positions. So I think that, I mean, stylistically, it's very advantageous for Magnus. Of course, Wesley's been playing well for the last couple of tournaments now, so anything can happen. But I think certainly Magnus is a favorite stylistically. More so than like in this match where it's like a big contrast. Like Jan and Magnus have very different styles. Like Jan is all about playing very sharp double-edged positions, very complicated, very messy. And Magnus is, generally speaking, tends to play drier positions. So yeah, this is I think stylistically it's a big favorite for or it's very advantageous for Magnus. But again, it's, you know, we all play these matches because otherwise, you know, might as well not play at all and just decide the winner is whoever's highest ranked.
How did you find the format of the tournament? Because it has slightly changed from the previous Magnus tour.
Yeah, Hikaru, were you triggered by the format?
Thank you, Lux.
What was that? Was that just like a loss in translation? What was?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I mean, maybe it's that, or maybe it's just they assume that if you lose a match, you're just going to be in a terrible mood and it's like the end of the world or something. I don't know, but. No, I thought the format was okay. I don't like the format best of two. I think it should be an odd number. Like, I mean, why don't we just have a baseball game or you know, let's have the World Series of baseball be best of 4. Like, why don't we just have it be best of 4?
Yeah, and then if they tie, they have to run around the bases really fast, like that.
Yeah. So I mean, I was thinking about every sport. It's always an odd number. It's always best of 3. I guess is only tennis, but like best of 5 in basketball or best of 7. Like that's what you have. It's always an odd number. So to me, I don't like the even number. I'm just it just doesn't seem right. But yeah, to me it feels like it should be an odd number. So like I'm not a fan of best of 2. Overall though, I like the format with qualification into the final 8 because I think that makes it very exciting. The fact that this event, for example, you had so many people in the running to qualify up until maybe the last round, even there were all these weird results and weird games at the end deciding who made it and who didn't, is very, very good. It's very exciting for the fans. So I think that is to me, I think that's probably the thing I like the most about it. And then having the match format, I'm always going to like match format. I think for me, I've at least for the last couple of years, I've much preferred match formats to say to Swiss events where you have where you just play everybody in the field and that's how you determine a winner.
One interesting thing I was going to ask about Wesley, and rapid chess, because it I don't know, it seems like we've been constantly seeing him like doing well. I don't know, maybe that's like recency bias or something, but he's 21st in the world in rapid chess. And
I mean, there's a good reason for that. Like,
oh, what is it, like one bad tournament in the K factor?
Well, I mean that's part of it, but that's not the main reason. I think the main reason for Wesley not being higher rated in Blitz or Rapid is the fact that he consistently, well, I mean, he just chooses to skip the World Blitz and Rapid Championship every year. It's held over Christmas, so it's very understandable. But the fact that he skipped it at least the last 2 or 3 years is the main reason, because that's the only event where we play each other that's rated. I mean, Grand Chess Tour kind of, but that's where all the big rating shifts happen. And Wesley just doesn't play in the World Blitz and Rapid, so that's the reason. I mean, of course he's better than that. I mean, I'm sure who's higher ranked than him. There's got to be someone, some random guy, right? Let me go check quickly. 2700chess.com. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it's no one crazy like in the classical like report is, you said report is up there, but
okay, so Wesley is number 21 behind Peter Savitler. Yeah. Okay. I mean, let's be serious. That's ridiculous. I mean, no disrespect to Peter. He's very strong, but Wesley being below Peter or Laquang Liam, I mean, let's be real. So,
it's crazy because it also is like a matter of like 1 point at the end of the day. Like,
no,
really,
I know, but but that's the reason. So like the only event where you get to play a lot of games and you have the big shifts are the World Rapid and Blitz, and that's always held over Christmas because FIDE in their infinite wisdom doesn't want us to ever have time with our families or significant others and all that other stuff. So
didn't it used to be in the summer, in July?
Yeah, it used to be in July. Yeah, it was great. It was in July and it was fantastic. But yeah, they decided to put it over Christmas and New Year's. So like, unless you're really psychotic, most people kind of want a break, and they actually have people they want to be around. So yeah.
But now you're gonna have a major tournament. So instead of the World Rapid and Blitz, I believe that the next leg of the Champions Tour is scheduled for the end of December, if I'm not
yes,
mistaken.
and it's over. It's not over Christmas, but it is over New Year's, I believe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
perfect.
Really?
Right on cue. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, starting right after Christmas and going through New Year's.
Wait,
Exactly.
so New Year's Eve you have to go to sleep early because January 1st you have to play?
Unfortunately, I think you are not wrong, Levy. I think if that might be the matches, but yes, that I think is correct. That is correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just skip New Year's? I mean, there's chess tournaments that start January 2nd for 5 days, like classical tournaments, because they know that on the 1st you celebrate New Year's. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Oh, but Levy, more importantly, you know what that actually means? It means you yourself are going to have to go to bed early. You can't go out and party with Ostrovsky or any of these other people because you're going to be doing commentary. So you have to be very responsible too. So it's not just me; it's you and Anna, both of you guys. Although Anna's 9 hours ahead, or six of us, so for her it's a breeze.
I don't have anywhere to go though in the lockdown, but I don't think we'll have any celebration for New Year. Not even an online one.
Oh no, are you kidding me? This is gonna be 2020 is finally gonna be over, guys. Like it's like
That's
I
true.
can't wait. I can't wait. For
I mean,
it
we
to be
finally
over.
No, this game's still going, but Hikaru, you will you stream?
Yeah, I think I probably will actually. I'll probably stream a couple hours after this, maybe. I actually I don't know because I have to in all this madness of this event, I also have to go get my keys to a new apartment. So I've been having to fill out
Oh.
forms and do all kinds of other stuff during this event as well. So it's been pretty insane.
Okay, because we could do whatever. If you want to stream, like if you want to go, like we can take it kind of to the end now, because I know that normally when you boot up, you'll put up the starting soon screen. You can also do that, whatever you want to do. Talk about the game. It's over. That's yeah. It's not looking good. I'll tell you that.
I mean, this game is over, obviously, but yeah, I think probably I think I will stream. I don't know. I don't see any reason not to. Although the thing is, now that I haven't actually streamed for a week, it feels kind of weird. It feels weird because it's been so long.
For chat, I think it feels all the same. They're
well, I mean, yeah, but Chad has been seeing me every day.
A little bit, not too much. Like, you know, visitation. It's like you're in the spot over there in the little booth, and we will say this.
They definitely want to see you more. They definitely want to see you more. And I think we'll be back for the finals too. I think this is not exactly what we wanted. We wanted to see Hikaru versus Magnus in the finals, but I believe we will still be covering the last 2 days of the event. But for now, you guys get what you all have been waiting for. Hikaru will be streaming, booting up now his software, and he will be streaming while this game is fizzling out to, well, will this even be a draw, or will Magnus just finish it with a win? Because if anyone can win, it's Magnus.
Hikaru,
yeah, I mean, isn't Rook B1 just winning here?
Hikaru, we lost your camera. Did a wire get knocked?
Sorry, what?
Oh,
You're completely frozen.
Oh, is that because I opened OBS maybe? Let me see.
Maybe.
No?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Now Anna's on the big screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
No, that's
let
fine.
me switch.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
switch.
Okay.
I don't want to take over the main stage here.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, it's as I was saying, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I mean it's what it is, but we keep going and hopefully everything is good. So I'll let you guys finish up. I guess you guys are gonna have me come on right away, so I'll see you guys all in a couple of minutes, okay?
Okay, cool.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
See you,
See you very
Hikaru.
shortly. See you very shortly.